Alrighty then. Hello everyone, my name is Caden and welcome back to more Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy, or for our case, Phoenix Wright Spirit of Justice, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Spirit of Justice. There we go. And what might potentially be, I think, the final episode of it. Or, yeah, that sounds about right. So, today we are going to be finishing up with Turnabout Time Traveler, I think. Last time we proved that the wedding happened twice somehow. Now, as for why, it seems as though the Pierce said that they want to replay the wedding so that it could potentially hide up the murder, making it easier for the Sprocket family to avoid charges or whatnot. But we figured it out that they did it twice, so now it's time to do some more investigating as to why, in order to find the truth. Alrighty. September 22nd, 1:48 p.m. Wright Anything Agency.
What? So, the whole time traveling thing was just a ruse to put on by the guests at the reception?
Looks like it. I knew there had to be some kind of trick to it.
Wow. Ooh, wedding receptions. Can you imagine? I wonder how much that must have cost them.
I have no idea. But if you have to ask, you're not rich enough to want to know. Still, if you got the money, it's a pretty good way to cover things up, if you ask me.
You've got that right. I'm sure I would have been completely fooled. Hi, I'm back.
Hey, Ma. Are you all set to go?
Yep, ready when you are. So, what should we start with?
Let's start with reviewing what we learned at the trial. What Ellen thought was time travel was really just a performance put on by the Sprockets. But other than that, it seems that what Ellen told us was actually all true.
So what really matters right now is the identity of the mystery person Ellen said she saw while she was being attacked. So who is this mystery person?
That's the million-dollar question, I'm afraid. But if we want to clear Ellen of any suspicion, then figure out who they are is key.
I think I'll take toilets for $200 instead, Mr. Wright.
Well, at least there were only so many people on that airship that night. And we know who the mastermind of the whole cover-up plot was too, so that's good.
You mean the groom, Soren Sprocket, right?
Exactly. He might know something that could help us out. So what am I doing here? I don't know. I'm a very busy man, you know. Well, all the other people involved are Soren's family members. So I thought I'd better start by interviewing you. Even if I probably shouldn't trust a word out of your mouth. Oh man. I have a really tight schedule, but heck, what are friends for, right? Okay, pal, go ahead and ask me anything. You do remember it was you who came to me for help in the first place, right? Hey, Larry. Anything new to be said? No, it actually is all the same here. Just had to make sure. Look at this badge. What are you showing me your attorney's badge for? Wait, are you saying you want me to take up your badge into the courtroom? Absolutely not. With you as a defense, I'm pretty sure I've already read this dialogue. Just for one chance, man. Objection! How's that? Pretty good, right? Ready to let me borrow your badge now? You saw awesome at point, right? I'm not letting you my badge, and that's final. Besides, pointing isn't all a lawyer does. I can lose my reputation, you fool. What are you showing me that for? Is this an interrogation? Okay, sure, I snuck into that airship and was wandering around it all by my lonesome. You gotta believe me, I didn't kill anyone. And why were you sneaking around that airship in the first place? Because it was fate. Yeah, that's it. I'll just follow my destiny. That's all I've ever done. Oh, come on, Larry. Are you seriously going to blame all the trouble you've ever caused in fate? Damn it, Larry. I assume he's not going to have any dialogue to say. Well, That's the drawing I made. You better take care of it. That's gonna be valuable someday. The question that remains, so we know that the whole time travel thing is fake, but that doesn't explain what Larry saw. Larry saw what he thought was a pterodactyl. Obviously it wasn't, but what was it? But what was it actually instead? Was it a person or something? Do you want me to add a character or something to it?
Oh, could you? I'd love to see a true artist at work.
Hold it. As partial as this drawing is, there will be no doodling on the evidence until the trial's over. What do you mean, partial? I'm not gonna draw anything for you ever again, not even if you beg me.
Guess that's that, huh, Nick?
Need I remind you that it's still a piece of evidence, Maya? Damn it, Maya. You and Larry never change. Whoa! Who is she? Who's this lovely vision?
Larry...
This is Soren's older sister. She died in a car accident. No! How could such a beautiful flame have been snuffed out like that? If she were alive today, I bet I could have made her happy. That's funny. I thought you were in love with Ellen. Don't get me wrong, Nick. I just want to make all the pretty ladies of this world happy. That's all. I think you're the one getting it wrong. Look at this. Look at the dead body that you pushed around, Larry. Alright, I doubt the rest of this is gonna give me anything, but I'm still determined to do it. Alright, just had to make sure. Better safe than sorry. Alright, Larry. I want to go over exactly what happened when before I step outside this off again. Since you were there, Larry, do you think you could help me out, get it all straight in my head? If I gotta. Okay, so the first reception was held at 7 p.m. on the day of the incident. That's the one you tried to crash, right? Huh? Oh, yeah, that's right. And then they locked me up in the cabin. It was awful, I tell you. Too bad we're not here to focus on you, Larry. And then the incident occurred after this first reception at around 10 p.m. Ellen was attacked in the reception hall by Gloomsbury. He forced her out into the Vista deck and was just about to kill her. But Ellie fought back and ended up killing old Gloomsbury instead. To cover it up, the family quickly threw together a second reception. That's what Edgy's claiming anyway. But I know my Ellie didn't do it. The key point here is the mystery person Ellen said she saw strike Gloomsbury just before she passed out. Did you see anybody suspicious skulking around that day? Nope, not so. Because I was locked up in a cabin at the time. But you managed to escape and sneak back into the reception hall. That's when you switched the lantern in the event hall with the lantern in the hold, right? Did you see anybody then? Nope, the place was completely deserted. I guess because that Pierce Butler guy, they had everybody gathered together somewhere. That makes sense. He must have been going over the cover-up plan with them. So clearly, the murder had already happened by the time Larry got out. They must have gotten everything ready fast and had the second reception soon after. Then after that second reception... Anyway... Oh, sorry, Nick. I just woke up. Anyway, Ellie went to clean up the reception hall. And as luck would have it, that's when she found the body in the lantern I brought up. I tried to do something nice for Ellie out of the goodness of my heart, and this happened? We still don't know exactly what happened during the actual murder itself. We'll just have to look into it, along with the identity of that mystery person. Considering the characters we know of right now, the mystery person is most likely either Soren or Pierce. The question is, which one? What about the cabin, Larry? So, while the murder was taking place, you were locked up in a cabin. Did you see anything unusual while you were in there? In the cabin? Let's see. Well, there's that pterodactyl flying to the sky. That's pretty unusual. Oh, right. The drawing of that pterodactyl you saw. What's with all the air quotes? I really did see it, I swear. But, Larry, the time travel thing never actually happened. Which means you couldn't have seen a real pterodactyl flying through the sky. Oh. Are you doubting the eye of a super popular picture book author? No, I'm just saying you saw something else, and mistook that for a flying reptile. Hey, you're making me doubt my own eyes. No, I'm not even sure what I saw. He probably mistook something for what he claims is a pterodactyl in this picture. Either way, you have no idea what actually happened at the real scene of the murder. That's right, and I say that with every confidence. Oh, wow, did you look at the time? I better go. I have a book signing to get to. A book signing? Whose book? What do you think? It's mine, of course. It's a Loris the new book signing. I bet you went around and begged a bunch of bookstores to let you do one. Of course not. They're the ones coming around to beg me. Looks like I guessed right. Anyway, I have to go. I'll send you 10 copies of my new book that just got released the other day, alright? 10? That's very generous of you. What are you talking about? I'm gonna send you the bill too, of course. Just put him down at his office as Benson or something. Well, see ya. Damn it, Larry. Wait, Larry, we don't need... He's gone.
I'll take your copy, boss. Oh, and make sure it's signed.
Oh boy. Jersey's not gonna like this office expense.
Here goes our first lead. What do you want to tackle next, Nick?
Right. We should really hit the streets now, huh? How about we go see Ellen?
Sounds good, boss. I bet I can cheer her up.
I thought you were going to help Drusy with her magic show again today, Athena. Weren't you supposed to go meet with her right about now? Drusy said she was going to practice her new trick on you, if I recall.
On me? Really?
Drusy show is an important source of income for our agency, you know? We certainly don't make any money, Athena. The one who owns everything here is freaking Drusy. You go help her now. You can leave the case to us, so you go ahead and run along now.
But, boss...
Off you go, Athena.
Oh, I don't want to die.
Bye, Athena. We better get going too, Maya.
Okay.
Maya. Before we leave... I feel like I always have to check whenever a new person's on screen if anything's changed. Any ideas? Why the long face, Maya?
I can't believe the time travel isn't real after all.
I see.
I thought I'd get to go back in time and see real dinosaurs and ninjas and stuff.
Yeah, too bad, huh? I couldn't be more relieved, personally. Do you realize how many time paradoxes would be created? So, what should we do?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, shouldn't we just keep investigating stuff or something?
She'd really lost that spark. Ever since I proved that time traveling wasn't real in court today. Womp womp. Alright, let's go. Oh, hello. Back to cleaning. September 22nd, Detention Center. Visitors room.
I poor sweet Sword. I don't understand how he's getting along without me.
Hello, Ellen. Uh-oh. What are you pulling out?
Oh, that's right. What's going to happen with the trial, you think?
Well, first and foremost, we have to hurry up and find this mystery person you saw just before you passed out.
Do you think that person could be the real killer?
It's quite possible. If we can prove that, we can clear you of all charges. Actually, would you happen to know where Soren is right now?
He's usually busy with meetings all afternoon, but he should be home by evening.
Why are you showing me a pair of underwear?
I don't know.
I think I better go have a chat with him later, then. Why am I being treated to a view of someone's underwear?
Mr. Wright, please don't tell me. You suspect my sweet Soren?
Well, he is the one who masterminded the second reception after the time skip. So I thought he might be able to tell us something.
How could you, Mr. Wright? You can't possibly think my Soren would never kill anyone.
Alright, just calm down.
No, not if you're accusing my Soren.
Please, I'm not accusing anybody, so please put the pan and ladle down, alright?
Really?
Cross my heart. So for now, would you mind if I ask you a few more things about the case? I better be careful not to provoke her. What about my badge? What can you tell me about this? Oh, and it's the same dialogue. First, as always, gotta see what she has to say about every other piece of evidence. Again, the only two people that I think could possibly be the person who she saw behind Gloomsbury was, again, it was either Soren, maybe in an attempt to protect Ellen from Gloomsbury, or it could be Pierce, which I guess for the same reason now that I think about it. Oh, and it's the same dialogue. I still love that you can just see the moment that the makeup transitions from messy to clean behind that mirror because it's not fully covering her face. I don't think we're gonna get any new information or dialogue out of her from the evidence, so let's just skip to Soren. Could you tell me about Soren?
There's nothing to tell. He's squeaky clean.
Alright, okay. Maybe I should avoid the topic of Soren right now. Let's talk about something else then.
Fine. But you won't hear peep off me about Soren.
What about pulling teeth? Alright, what about Pierce? Tell me about him. Could you tell me about Pierce Nickety then?
Yes. He came to Sprocket Manor about a year ago. As the family butler, he's now in charge of everything in the household.
Only a year ago? Do you have some kind of special connection with the family?
I'm just maid, so I'm not privy to such things, I'm afraid.
It might have been Soren's order, but Pierce is the one who coordinated the whole thing. He's the one who really orchestrated the grand time travel farce. He must have quite a bit of authority in that family. But no matter how good he is at his job, how could anybody gain that much influence in a single year?
I really don't know. I mean, he is an excellent butler. Wouldn't that explain it?
Is it really as simple as that? Time travel. What you thought was time travel was really just a cover-up carried out by your in-laws. Pierce said Soren was the one who ordered the whole thing.
I still can't believe it. Even if the second reception was fake. Soren would never use time travel for something like that. He's very serious about his time machine research, you know.
I heard there's a reason he's researching time machines, actually. Something about something he wishes he could change. But isn't the whole idea of traveling back in time itself a little fantastic?
I don't think so. After all, Soren said real time travelers do exist.
Really now? You think you know someone who actually traveled through time?
That's right. I haven't seen it personally, but Soren said as much. So, I believe it.
Somebody who actually traveled through time, huh? It's very hard to believe. Thank you, Ellen.
You're going out to do your investigation now, aren't you?
Yes, that's right.
Please make sure you don't cause someone any trouble, okay?
I'm afraid I can't promise you that. Oh dear. Hi.
Please, whatever you do, please don't upset my poor sword any further. I'm begging you.
I'll do my best not to cause him any unnecessary trouble.
I can bear if Sora never came under suspicion. I'd rather be found guilty myself.
Yeah. Ellen, please, don't work yourself up like this. You don't want Soren to worry, do you? Ay, ay, ay.
No, you're right.
And the flood bars recede once more. That guard is in danger of just drowning to death in this interrogation cell. Someone's gonna open the door, 2 bodies and a bunch of water flood out into the hallways.
So, what do we do now, Nick?
Well, Ellen said Soren is usually in meetings until the evening, so let's save our house call until then. Why don't we go to the mooring dock and figure out our next move from there?
Roger, Nick.
All right. Goodbye. Everything here looks to be the same. September 22nd, Sprocket Park Mooring Dock. So, where should we start?
Let's see. Are there any places we haven't examined yet? We already investigated the reception hall and Sprocket Manor.
I know. We haven't looked at the Vista deck or the hold yet.
Hey, you're right. We still got some pretty important places to examine, don't we? The Vista deck is the actual scene of the murder, right?
And the lantern with the body in it was stored in the hold. I think there's a good chance we'll find some important clues in those locations.
Do we know how to get to the hole?
Good question. I think it was labeled in the diagram of the airship in this pamphlet. Let's see.
There it is.
Bingo. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go. Just to be sure. Yeah, but it will. Here we are. And there are those flowers. September 22nd, Flying Chapel, hold. And it seems this thing also raises up towards the Vista deck. So this is the hold. This is where Pierce orchestrated the whole cover-up operation. We better go over this place with a fine-tooth comb.
Hey, Nick. Weren't we supposed to need a key card to get in here?
Huh, you're right. I wonder why it was unlocked. Is this who I think it is? How's it going, Miss Wright? Nope, it is you.
Emma. Sorry, I had something in my throat. What are you doing here, Mr. Wright? Just a little independent investigating for my own sake. Gotta keep the mind sharp.
Ah, so the door security system was turned off for the police investigation. We'd like to investigate the hold ourselves. Would that be alright?
Yeah, sure. The police just finished their examination anyway.
Thanks. We'll just take a quick look around then.
Oh, right. You should know that the floor doubles as a huge lift. You can use that lever way back there to raise it up to the Vista deck. The police inspected it already, but didn't find anything of particular interest, it seems. If you do go up to the Vista deck with the lift, be careful not to fall off.
Got it. Thanks.
That goes double for you, Maya.
Thank you for knowing who more likely to fall.
Yes, ma'am!
Well, let's get this show on the road. Alright, before we talk with you, let's examine everything first. First off, big cake.
Oh, it's a cake, Nick. Cake! It's so big, they wouldn't miss one little piece, would they?
If you're that in the mood for a mountain of styrofoam, sure, knock yourself out. Oh yeah, aren't wedding cakes, like, mostly fake? I feel like I've heard that somewhere.
You mean it's not real? Well, it sure fooled me.
It's just like they just use styrofoam to make it, and then it's like the real cake is not even that much. At least I thought I heard that somewhere.
So ready to have some of that. I'm really craving cake now. Come on, Nick. Let's go get some.
Maybe after the trial's over. There's a candle here. Yep. Looks like there's some fingerprints on this candelabra.
Yeah, I just got done dusting that.
Whose is it?
I was able to pull a set of left-hand prints.
Do you know whose prints they are?
Yes. The prints belong to the victim, Dumas Gloomsbury. Nick, I just figured out something amazing.
You did?
Get this. If the fingerprints on the candelabra were from his left hand, then Mr. Doom and Gloom must have been left-handed. What do you think of that? Do I have the makings of a great detective or what?
You're real silly Sally if you thought that deduction wasn't in any way encyclopedic.
Hey, you're right, Maya. You're pretty good, Maya. I looked into it myself, and sure enough, the victim really was left-handed. Really? I got it right? Awesome.
Good for you, Maya.
Good for you? That's all you've got to say?
I think you did a real great job, Maya. Way to go! I guess one can never have too much info.
Now you're talking.
But, come to think of it, this candelabra isn't in the photo Larry took of the hole, is it? No, it's not. Interesting.
The picture was taken when they were getting ready for the first reception, right?
Is it possible that Gloomsbury was thinking of using this to attack? Ellen?
The candelabra must have been brought in here sometime after that.
And it had to have been by Gloomsbury, though, right? So this thing was moved when Gloomsbury was still alive. At the very least, that seems to be the conclusion to draw here, if his prints are on it. It's still possible that it has something to do with it's still possible it has something to do with the incident, though. Better add it to the evidence file, just in case. Strange. Is there any... I want to look at all the evidence. Wait, hold on.
Oh, by the way, Mr. Wright. You can have this fingerprint powder if you like.
You're giving this to us?
Sure. I have 4 other sets.
Thanks. I feel like there's something more to the candelabra, but I can't put my finger on it. I want to look at all the evidence again, specifically any pictures. Is there any sign? Ah. I noticed something. So, look at Gloomsbury's left hand. His left hand is the one that's covered in blood, right? And yet, look at this candelabra. I don't know about you, but I don't see any blood on this. And yet, when would he have put that down? It's not in this photo, obviously. This candle... I see. This candelabra was from the reception hall, wasn't it? Because there's a bunch of them here. But why would he have brought a candelabra down to the... My best guess as for why there would be one here is maybe Gloomsbury was originally planning on attacking Ellen with a candelabra. That's my best guess. But something made him change his mind or something, because I'm pretty sure the way that he actually attacked Ellen was by choking him. Choking her, sorry, whatever. Look at this plane!
Oh, look, Nick! It's an airplane!
I wonder if Soren built that one, too.
Hey, why don't we take it for a spin? Just a quick tour around the neighborhood.
And who do you propose is going to pilot that wooden death trap?
Me, of course. Who else?
Have fun, Maya!
Don't worry. I've seen people flying airplanes on TV plenty of times.
I think I'll pass. I've still got my whole life ahead of me. Have fun, Maya! What's that? A wedding bell?
According to the pamphlet, it's used on the visa deck during the wedding ceremonies to bless the newlyweds.
I guess it does assemble and store it away here in the hold when it's not being used. These must be the dishes and glasses they use for the receptions. Very fancy. I bet we'd be in big trouble if we broke any of them. Maya, I swear to God.
Oh, I want to see Nick.
You, young lady, you just stay far, far away from them. These dishes are worth more than my paycheck. A year's worth. So if you break it, you're the one buying it.
Nick. You think I'm going to break them, don't you?
Let's just say your rap sheet for breaking things doesn't help your case. Alright. Important thing number 1. So there are 2 male Pegable lanterns in the reception hall. That must mean that these 2 are female Pegacow lanterns.
Larry got their sexes mixed up when he replaced the one in the reception hall, huh? Didn't he see the horns? The difference is pretty glaring if you ask me.
And yet he managed not to notice. That's what makes Larry Larry. And Larry being Larry is why I've seen more than my fair share of trouble for a lifetime.
Oh, Mr. Wright?
Yeah? What's up?
You know that lantern the victim was found inside in the reception hall? I'm just about to go piece it back together so the police can examine it.
Oh, really? Oh? Okay. We'll stop by for a look too, once you're done with fixing it. Could give us some interesting info, potentially. There's not really anything saying it will or not, but the next main thing of look is these flowers.
These are the flowers we saw in Larry's photo.
The petals make them look like little gears. Yeah, I was wondering why they look so funny. That's what it is. They're little gear flowers. The perfect flower for the Sprocket family, huh? Maybe they were going to shower the couple with the petals?
You mean kind of like how people throw rice or confetti?
Yeah, like that. Only these were found at the scene of the murder instead. A little more gruesome. Look at this big ol' engine. So this is the airship's engine. Pretty impressive.
And it's all rhythmic, like a heartbeat. It's the literal heart of the Flying Chapel. Look at all those huge gears spinning round and round and around and around and I think I'm starting to get dizzy.
Yeah, me too. Round and round and round. Alright, I think we're good here. So, let's pull the lever. Oh, look. There's a lever to the left. There's the lever to the lift Emma told us about.
Let's try going up on it. I'll go flip the switch. Here goes nothing.
Wait, I'm not even on it yet. Maya! Wait. Oh, dear. Hey, Maya, stop the lift.
Well. Sorry, I got a little carried away.
Never mind that. Look over a little. Move over a little, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Is that blood?
Blood? Let me see.
Could it be Mr. Glooseberry's blood?
Well, this lift goes up to the pizza deck where the murder took place, so I think that's the most logical conclusion.
I thought the victim was clubbed to death and that there wasn't much blood. Someone tells me I'd better take a picture of this. That's probably going to be art. That's probably going to be very important for proving innocence. Ooh, a new indie world is coming up for stuff. Is coming up tomorrow. If I could also answer text here for a second. Boo-be-doo-boo. I thought I already texted my family in Morning and Love 'em, but apparently that was a phantom memory. Lift bloodstain added to the court record. A bloodstain that was found on the side of the lift in the hold. It's unknown whose blood it is. I should ask him about it some more later. Maya, could you bring the lift back down now?
You got it. I'll go flip the switch again. There. Done.
I want to find out some more about that bloodstain. But for now, I guess we should go up to the Visa deck and take a look around the actual crime scene for ourselves.
The view must be great from up there. I bet it'll be awesome.
You mean it would be if it wasn't the scene of a murder?
Okay, to the Visa deck we go. Make sure you actually get on the lift this time, Nick.
I know.
Okay, I'll just flip the switch again, and away we go!
Sweet. Alrighty. Oh boy.
Wow, look at the gorgeous view.
So this is where Ellen was attacked and Mr. Gloomsbury was killed. Yeesh, one wrong step and it's kersplat on the ground below.
Should we go investigate the stuff that's a little closer to the edge?
Well, I don't see much of anything over there. The police investigation didn't turn up any clues either, so maybe we don't need to?
I get. You're scared, aren't you, Nick?
Of course not! Come on, let's go back down and finish checking out the hold. Besides, I think the most important thing to get from the Vista deck is already ours with that blood stain. That alone's probably going to give us a lot of power. So, I think we've already checked everything here. Emma, look at this blood. Emma, about this blood stain. Doesn't something about it strike you as odd?
What's so odd about the victim's blood?
That's not exactly... There's just something about it that bothers me.
Now you mention it, I can't say I necessarily disagree with you.
Maybe I should talk about this some more with her. Nope. Smile. Snaku. Your dialogue skip is too much. Alright, let's get to talking. The incident. Any progress with your investigation?
Nothing conclusive yet, I'm afraid. Almost everybody was involved with the cover-up. Though it's hard to know who or what to believe.
I know what you mean.
Unless you have some compelling evidence, I'm afraid it's gonna be a tough trial for you.
You're telling me. There isn't much time left, so I just gotta make do and see what I can turn up. Emma, can we check out this candelabra a little more?
A little more? What do you...
Ooh. What happened?
I almost dropped the candelabra and the candle slipped off.
Huh. Well, isn't that interesting? Hang on. Before we look at that... One of them is... broken. Well, let's be careful with that. Might be important evidence.
Wait a minute.
Now what?
One of the pins that holds the candles is broken.
Huh?
There's definitely something fishy about this candelabra.
There is? What makes you say that?
Call it forensic investigator's intuition. We already dusted this Mr. Prince earlier. Let's test it with luminol this time.
Knowing Emma, she used every test that she has at the same time she could.
Just hang on. This will only take a second.
Hope this turns up a new leader somehow. Well, Emma, did you find anything?
Take a look at this, Mr. Wright.
Yep. What's all that blood doing in there? You know what? I think I might know what that is. Gloomsbury, it might have been in where all that blood on his hand came from. I want to know if Gloomsbury had like a stab wound in his hand or something.
Maybe somebody got hurt while they were setting up for the reception? These pens are pretty sharp.
But if one of the pins is broken, it means that there was some force involved. You think maybe somebody got stabbed?
But nobody reported anything like that.
It's quite a bit of blood. Wonders who it is. If I have anything that might shed some light on that, I should probably show it to Emma. Let's go ahead and show her Gloomsberries.
It's absolutely unbelievable. What kind of monster would plan to commit a murder on somebody's wedding?
Well. Oh, wait. Look at this snacku. Well, let's talk about the bloodstain first. About this bloodstain.
What about it?
There's something about it that's been bothering me.
Oh yeah? What's that?
Well, there's a huge bloodstain on the crime scene lift and a bloodstained candelabra. Now, this is only a guess, but I'm thinking maybe these two bloodstains are from the same source. I'm thinking maybe these two bloodstains are from the same source.
I guess that is a possibility.
Can we compare the two bloodstains? Would that take a lot of time?
Are you kidding? Don't underestimate the power of science. It'll be done in a jiffy.
Let's see it.
And the results are in. That didn't take long now, did it? It seems that the blood from the lift and the candelabra are from the same person.
As I thought. It's most likely a Gloomsberries, then. That's the best guess I have. Well, the victim was clubbed to death, and there wasn't all that much blood.
But this isn't Mr. Gloomsberry's blood.
Well, this is just a guess, but what if Mr. Gloomsberry stabbed somebody with the candelabra pin? That would explain both the huge blood stain on the lift and the blood on the candelabra.
Oh my goodness, if that's true, then that means there was somebody else present at the scene of the murder.
Oh. So we need to look for somebody with an injury, is what you're saying. It does, doesn't it? This might just substantiate Ellen's statement about a third person. Emma, could you have this blood analyzed?
Sure thing.
Mysterious bloodstain on the candelabra with the victim's prints on it. This might be the thing to back up Ellen's memory of seeing a third person. Next up, the reception hall. It might be worth taking another look around in there.
The reception hall? The forensics team is in there investigating right now.
Oh, they are?
Well, we don't have time to just sit around, so let's go check out something else.
Good idea. We can go question some people. Especially Soren. I have quite a few questions for that guy.
Sounds good, Dick. I'll have to do some legwork then.
Yep. I thought we'd head to Soren's house for starters.
He was accompanying the police on their investigation here earlier, but he's probably home by now.
Great. Thanks. Later, Emma. Thanks, Em. To the foyer! September 22nd, Sprocket Manor. Foyer.
I still can't get over how gorgeous Sprocket Manor is.
Just don't touch anything.
I wasn't going to.
She was definitely going to.
I was told I had guests.
Hi. Thank you for seeing us, Soren. We know you're busy. We'd like to ask you a few questions about the case, if you wouldn't mind.
I do mind.
Soren?
You're Ellen's lawyer, right?
Huh? Yes, that's right. Don't tell me he doesn't remember me.
Will Ellen be found guilty?
We're doing everything we can to prevent that. That's why we're here investigating. Will you please tell us what you know? Soren? Soren?
Alright. Fine.
What was that pause all about? Oh, we got new stuff to look at here. Oh, come back to hear more about my camera, have you? I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I'm really busy right now. Oh, what a shame. Well, if you ever want to talk about cameras, come back and see me anytime. Sounds like even his own family members don't want to listen to him. Poor man. There's a bouquet. Was this here before?
Hey, Nick. You better watch out or you'll be cursed by the bouquet of woe.
Oh, come on, Maya. Like I'm gonna believe that an urban legend you just made up. Look at this bloodstain. Look at this candelabra. What about paper? Come on. Work with me, damn it. Alright, let's talk. The cover-up. It was you who gave the order for that large-scale cover-up plan, isn't that right? What large-scale cover-up?
Don't play dumb with us. You held 2 wedding receptions in order to try and cover up Mr. Gloomsbury's murder.
Ellen thought that, through the power of the timekeeper you built, she traveled back in time. Ah, so that's why there were 2 receptions. Wait, does he seriously not know why the reception was held twice? Looks like I'll have to delve deeper here. So, the cover-up scheme. That fake trip through time. You're not the one who was behind it all? Pierce Techney stated in court that you were the one who ordered it to be carried out. Pierce said that? I see. I'd leave him in charge of everything around me. Though whatever he decides is, in essence, my decision too. So I take it that you didn't know anything about the cover-up? That's none of your business. But you were in 2 wedding receptions in a row. And still, you claim to know nothing. I have nothing more to say to you. Please leave.
But, Soren! Ow! Oh, there's something written on this paper airplane. Let's see. Go away.
It doesn't get clearer than that, huh? He's looking especially uncooperative, but maybe I can grab his attention somehow. There's still that one piece of evidence I don't know much about. It's worth a try. Alright, Soren. Maybe this? Nope. Oh, the timekeeper. How about the gear? Nope. What about the fog machine? Nope. The broken lantern? The copious amounts of blood. Soren, have you ever seen this before? That's... Sir, you're wasting your pencil. This is the first time we're actually seeing you, panicked, aren't we? What? What? Soren, what is it? Nothing. Why does his whole demeanor change all of a sudden? He's gone pale as a ghost, too. What? Soren?
Nick, oh, look at his stomach. He's bleeding.
Somebody help! Soren's collapsed! Well, I think that answers the question.
Master Soren!
Give him to the hospital! Quickly now! Great!
Soren, that must be one serious wound.
I think that answers the question of who was the blood that was.
What is it, Nick?
Well, when I showed him the candelabra, his whole demeanor changed. So I was just thinking that maybe his injury is...
Huh? What's this?
Oh, what? It's Soren's notebook. He must have dropped it in a rush to get him to the hospital.
Oh, his notebook, huh? I wonder what's written in it. Don't you? Come on, you know you want to take a peek.
Soren's notebook. Well, I can't deny that it's important. I feel guilty snooping around in somebody's personal notebook, but maybe we should take a little look-see. Whoa, it's filled with big words written in tiny letters. I guess he uses this notebook to write down his invention ideas. Huh?
What is it? Did you find something?
After March 8th of last year, the content of this notebook changes dramatically. Really?
Like how?
Well, ever since that date, Soren's been writing down every detail of his life. As in, every.
Maybe you decided to start keeping a diary?
Wait, March 8th? March 8th, huh? Wasn't March 8th the date that... This is way too detailed to be an ordinary diary.
Either he's really compulsive, or maybe just plain forgetful.
Was it really as simple as that? I feel like something happened on March 8th that made Soren change.
Oh, why don't you let me take a look at that, and I'll tell you.
Hey, Maya! Let go or we'll rip it! Damn it, Maya.
Now look what you did. You dropped it. You should just let me take a look.
How is this my fault?
Oh no, Nick.
It fell into that pool of Soren's blood. Can't read a thing on these 2 pages now.
Uh-oh, you're gonna get it now.
Oh, I guess it really is my fault after all. Let's just put this away carefully for now. We can't let anything else happen to it, Year. Database-like notebook that chronicles the events of each day in minute detail.
Huh? Hey, look, there's something sticking out of the notebook.
It looks like a newspaper article. RAL company heir dies in crash. Let's see. It's about the car accident Soren's sister died in. It happened on March 8th. That's the day Soren's notebook completely changed. Oh, wow.
What else does it say?
It says the driver at the time of the accident was... Dumas Gloomsbury. It says Soren was in the car too, and that he had sustained severe injuries. Huh. It's just like Pierce said. Soren completely changed after the accident. Is he trying to be forgetful and uses his book as a way of, like, keeping memories while not feeling? So Gloomsbury was driving the car when they got into that accident. That opens up the distinct possibility of Soren holding a grudge against Gloomsbury.
You think Soren could have...
I don't know. It's not like I have any proof. We should talk to Pierce about this when we return to Soren's notebook to him. Though he doesn't seem to be here right now. Maybe he's at the Flying Chapel. Oh boy. Pierce? September 22nd, Sprocket Park, Mooring Dock. I sure hope Pierce is around here somewhere. Ah, Mr. Wright and Miss Fay. Hey. Hello, Pierce. We were just looking for you. I'm sorry for Master Soren's sudden departure earlier. You have my sincerest apologies. It was totally understandable, really. But shouldn't you be at his side right now? It's fine. The other Sorens are with him, and I am in constant contact with them. You're right, your shoulder mech. Do not forget to give him his pain medication, and be sure to keep him hydrated. Also, see to it that he is not up and about. He needs complete bed rest. Is this what happens when you're too rich for normal peasant phones? I must return to Master Soren now, but... Did you want something of me? Actually, here's Soren's notebook. He dropped it when he collapsed. Hope Pierce doesn't notice the bloodstain. Oh, thank you very much for this. I will see to it personally that Master Soren gets it back. Thank you. Soren's notebook given to Pierce. I trust you do not look inside? Oh, of course not. Because it is filled with numerous patent-worthy ideas, you see. Look, I know you're busy, but would you mind if I asked you a few questions about the case? Well, as I said, I must be getting back to Master Soren. So if you could make it quick, I would greatly appreciate it. Alright, I'll make this as quick as I can. Alright. And by quick, I mean I'm showing you every piece of evidence, starting with this big one. Even now, it is painful to remember the accident. Master Soren is not the only one who suffers still. The entire Sprocket family was plunged into deep sorrow. A sorrow they still feel to this day. I can understand why Soren changed so much after the accident. That is why I do not want you to bring up the car accident again. I hope you understand. Yes, I understand. So I guess that topic is out. Do you recognize this, Pierce? It was not really something I cared to look at. It was you and the others who tried to cover things up in the hold, wasn't it? I left that entirely to my subordinates, so I really don't know anything about it myself. Pierce was in charge of handling the guests and relatives. So he must know a lot more than he's letting on. Do you recognize this, Pierce? It's not really something I care to look at. I'm just going to say the same thing, and yet I can't let you skip this dialogue for some reason. It is the same dialogue, and yet it is unskippable at the same time. As to why, I do not know. I guess it is simply to waste your time. Close. Let's wait a minute. Never hurts to take a look around. The cover-up. I'd like to ask you about the cover-up you tried to pull off, if you don't mind. I told you everything there is to tell in court already. Disposing of anything that may harm the Sprocket family's reputation is simply a part of my job. Sounds like a lovely job description. I have nothing more to say on the matter. I will say, I do not think it's wise to spend time on topics that have already been discussed. Right. The accident, then. Pierce, could you tell us more about this accident? Where did you find that? Did I not already tell you about the accident? You did, but you conveniently left out one crucial detail. The fact that Dumas Gloomsbury was driving the car at the time. Yeah, what's that about? Oh? Did I not mention that? I suppose it simply did not come up then. If Mr. Gloomsbury caused the accident, why didn't the Sprocket family fire him? Yeah, that is a good question. Wouldn't that usually be the natural consequence of such a huge mistake? Please do not misunderstand. Gloomsbury stayed on with the family. On Master Soren's request. What? That's the type of person Master Soren is. Perhaps it was the influence of Miss Selena's kind nature. She was such a sweet person that even in her last moments, she thought of Master Soren. Not only did Soren not hold a grudge against Gloomsbury, he insisted on keeping him on. I really don't understand how that guy's mind works. Selena's last moments. So you were present for Selena Sprocket's last moments? Yes, in my professional capacity. The accident happened on the way to a certain party. And what kind of party was it? It was Miss Selena's engagement party. Gloomsbury's injuries were minor, but Miss Selena's and Master Soren's were critical. They were brought to the Sprocket family's regular hospital. Wow, that's such a terrible thing happened on what was to be a day of celebration. Thanks to the surgeon in charge, Master Soren pulled through. Miss Selena... she... The last words Miss Selena said to me were... Please help Soren. Wait! Ever since then, I have attended Master Soren and tried to help him in any way I can. I see. Selena's fiancé must have been devastated. Indeed. May I ask who the fiancé was? The shock of losing Miss Selena was so great he quit being a surgeon. He was a surgeon? Wait, so the surgeon who tried to save them both, was he? Yes. He was Miss Selena's fiancé. What a terrible tragedy. How awful. So, where is her fiancé now? Good question. I wondered that sometimes myself. So Selena had a fiancé. I'd like to find out more about him, but I doubt I'll find him anytime soon. I think I know exactly where he is, actually. So, are we done here? I'm afraid I must be going. Could you please just tell me a little more about Soren? There's nothing more to tell. I can't seem to get any real answers out of him just by asking him questions. There is that piece of evidence I still don't know much about. Maybe he'll be able to tell me something about it. I wonder. Could it be the candelabra? Pierce, have you ever seen this candelabra before? No, I don't know anything about it. Knew it! You're lying. Magatama reacted. Pierce must be trying to hide something from me. I have to break the Cyclops and find out what. Alright, Pierce. Game on.
Take that!
What truth are you hiding away in your heart? Pierce's secret. Pierce, you're hiding something from me about this candelabra, aren't you? It is one of the candelabras from the Flying Chapel, is it not? Is there something special about it? Actually, yes. There's some blood on it, you see. I think the blood might belong to this person. Soren.
Take that!
Soren has a rather nasty wound on his body, doesn't he? Bingo. Yes, Master Soren is indeed injured. Are any of the other people involved with this case injured? Not as far as I know. I see. Let me ask you this, Pierce. Do you suppose Soren could have been more directly involved than you're letting on? What in the world would make you think that? I've got my reasons. Mr. Gloomsbury's fingerprints were found on this candelabra stem, which leads me to believe that Mr. Gloomsbury stabbed Soren with it. You cannot possibly think Master Soren is the one responsible for the murder. I don't have any conclusive evidence of that at the moment, but I do think he had a motive. This proves that Soren had a motive to kill Mr. Gloomsbury.
Take that!
The car crash. Even though it was an accident, Mr. Gloomsbury was the man responsible for taking Soren's sister away. One more. Let us suppose that Gloomsbury did stab Master Soren with that candelabra. Can you prove that it had anything to do with this case? He might have been stabbed at some other location for some other reason. Sorry, but I can prove it was related to this case. Oh, really? Soren's stabbing and Mr. Gloomsbury's death are definitely connected. Are they now? This is the piece of evidence that ties Soren's injury to Mr. Gloomsbury's murder. It's gotta be talking about the blood.
Take that!
Bloodstain was found on the side of the lift that goes between the hold and visa deck. Its blood matches the blood that's on the candelabra. I obtained results straight from the police, so I can assure you this information is correct. This bloodstain on the lift indicates an important fact. It shows us that Soren was there during the crime scene. Soren's blood is on the lift, which can only mean one thing. He was there, wasn't he? Soren was at the scene of the crime. You are very astute, Mr. Wright. It appears I cannot hide this from you any longer. Very well. I will tell you everything. Bingo. So Soren was at the crime. Pierce's secret. Could you tell me about Soren's injury? Very well. This is what I heard directly from Master Soren himself. As you surmise, Master Soren was stabbed by Mr. Gloomsbury on the day of the murder. It happened after the first wedding reception. The happy couple was in the reception hall when suddenly Gloomsbury appeared. He attacked Miss Ellen and tried to take her away. Master Soren went to stop him and found himself in a struggle with Gloomsbury. That is when Master Soren was stabbed with the candelabra, he said. Even though Master Soren was badly injured, he went after Gloomsbury. Soren really was at the scene of the murder, wasn't he? Yes, that is correct. However, by the time Master Soren had arrived at the scene, Gloomsbury had already been murdered. So Pierce is saying that Soren was at the crime scene. They didn't have anything to do with the murder itself. Even still, why did you try to keep such an important piece of information from me? I'm very sorry. Master Soren's injury and Gloomsbury's murder were not directly related, so I decided not to mention it. so as not to unnecessarily complicate the investigation. You're making this more complicated than it needs to be by doing that. Now then, I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I really must go now. Please, excuse me. Thank you for your time.
Pierce should have just told us everything in the first place and saved us a lot of time.
Yeah, I guess it isn't as simple for him. He is the family butler, after all. He sure didn't make our job any easier, though, did he? But at least we learned something new. Soren was at the scene of the crime.
That's true. One step forward is better than none. So, what next, Nick?
Let's see. The forensics team might be done investigating the reception hall by now. Let's go check it out.
Sounds like a plan.
To the reception... Oh, it's cleaned up now. And there's a maid. Flying Chapel Reception Hall. Looks like the police are done with their investigation in here. Wonder if it's okay for us to take a look around now.
Oh, hi, Mr. Wright.
Hey! Hi, Emma! Would it be alright if we investigate in this room now?
Sure, the police are all done, so go for it. Oh, and remember that broken lantern? I restored it to perfection. I have to say, it's some of my best work.
Sounds like the repair job was a resounding success. Thanks, Emma. We'll take a good look at it, too.
Well, I have to be getting back to the station. Try not to mess up the crime scene if you can help it.
We'll be careful.
I'll be seeing you.
Aw, I was hoping she'd be hanging out with us.
Bye, Emma, and thank you.
Well, shall we get started? Shall we? Let us begin. Eh? There's something new here. What's this? This is where the murder weapon the timekeeper is displayed. It's a key. I guess it's in police custody now. Huh? What's this? A key?
Let's ask the maid about it.
Good idea. She might be able to tell us something. Excuse me. Excuse me. Could I ask you a question?
Oh, of course. What would you like to know?
Do you know anything about this key?
It's the key that starts up the timekeeper.
Startup key.
That's right. Oh, the first startup of love ceremony was so beautiful. The bride and the groom each had a symbol of their love, and when they put them together, oh, how romantic it was.
Key of love, a heart-shaped key used to activate the timekeeper. First startup of love ceremony. What exactly did that entail?
Oh, it's a ceremony in which the couple activate the timekeeper together for the first time. I suppose it was kind of like a cake-cutting ceremony.
And what are these symbols of their love you mentioned?
Well, that's kind of an industry secret, so I can't really say. I'm sorry. I better be getting back to my work.
Looks like there's an order from above not to talk about it. Well, that's pretty important to learn about, at least.
Hey, I think that tablecloth is new. He must have changed it since yesterday.
Huh? How can you tell?
Because the food stains that were there are now gone.
I should have known it's because of food. Look outside!
It's another beautiful day outside, isn't it?
Yeah, if only it wasn't the scene of a murder, we could really enjoy it.
True.
It must be tough for the maids to have to work on a beautiful day like today.
Oh, we don't mind.
Whoa! I didn't think you could hear me way over there.
We don't think of it as simply cleaning. It's more like we're wiping away all the sadness stuck to this airship.
Wow. Talk about devoted. I guess we checked out everything of interest in this area. Back it up. Emma! Emma! Look at you! Hello. Hey, take a look at that door. I wonder where it goes.
Shall we open it and see? Wait, please don't open that. It's the emergency escape hatch. It leads directly outside. You'll fall to your death.
Woo! That was a close one, huh, Maya?
I'll say.
Great! Why is that there? You fool! You'll get us all killed! There's a Pegable.
Nick,
Well, that's wrong, Maya.
this hasn't moved an inch since the last time we looked at it.
It'd be pretty creepy if it had. Look, we're in the middle of an important investigation, so try not to shout, okay?
I was just hoping it had changed somehow, you know, so it would be more interesting.
Last thing we need is for things to get more interesting, Maya. Our job is for things to not be complicated. Can I talk to the maid first, or is this...
Excuse me, is the fog machine ready to use now? No, I'm afraid not. We only put dry ice in it when there's an actual deception. I see. That's too bad.
She still wants to blast me with a cloud of smoke, doesn't she? Damn it, Maya. And damn it, Emma! Here's the broken lantern, all patched up. And I do mean patched.
Emma said that this was some of her best work, so I know she put a lot of effort into it.
It was pretty smashed up. Must have been a lot of work to piece it back together. Well, she gets an A for effort at any rate. Huh? This wheel handle on the back has some blood on it. Yeah, I was wondering whose it is. Looks like somebody gripped it with a bloody handle. With a bloody hand.
Maybe the blood got there when the killer was putting old Doom and Gloom's body inside.
Maybe?
Do you see anything else worth noting?
Well, there's another one of these lanterns over there. So it might be a good idea to really compare the two later. Wait. 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 There is something different. Isn't there? The horns. I think the horns are different. This is the unbroken Pegable lantern. And this is the one that Emma restored. I wouldn't say they look exactly the same, more that they're made up of the same parts.
Wait, Mac.
What's it? What is it, Maya?
I think there's something off about this Pegable.
Just about everything about it looks off to me.
I'm not quite sure what it is, but some detail isn't quite right. Show me the restored lantern again.
Yeah. Hey, I know. Is this right?
Where?
The thing about the restored lantern that's off is the shape of the horns. The shape of the horns is different, isn't it? How they're curved in their size and stuff.
I don't know. The curve and size seems even the same as the unbroken one to me.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Well, in that case, there is the more obvious difference, which is the color of the wheel. Look, it's the wheel handle. It's a different color altogether. Yeah, this one's like a bronze, the ours is silver. Oh! And I got the inside and outside wheel handles switched around.
Oh, wow. You're right.
Damn it, Emma!
And there's blood here on this handle, as if somebody gripped it with a...
Wait a minute. This means that this is the handle that's on the inside. And we know that Gloomsbury had blood on... I see. Gloomsbury was alive. When he was inside this thing, he was alive. Because that has to be the blood on his hand. That would be Soren's blood, right? Right. Which means that the blood got on the handle from inside the lantern.
Do you think the blood got on there when the killer was putting the body in the lantern?
It's really hard to say at this point. No, I think it was Gloomsbury himself trying to get out of the lantern. Whew. Well, I think we've checked out everything relevant to this case. What are you two doing here? Wait, what are you doing here? Wait, is it him? What are you two doing here? Whoa, what the? Soren, shouldn't you be resting in bed? You're injured. How do you know about that? Never mind. My notebook. Have you seen my notebook? I can't find it anywhere. My notebook. I need my notebook. What's the matter with him? My notebook. I have to have... Master Soren. Master Soren, I told you to stay in bed. My notebook. Here you go. I see. Yes, this is it. So Soren gets emotionally unstable without that notebook of his? That's genuinely his memories. Looks like he's calmed down now. Soren, do you mind if I talk to you for a minute? I cannot allow you to do that. What if his wound was to open up again? He needs to rest. You hear those ambulances outside? I guess you're right. Now, if you will excuse us. Master Soren, let us retire. Alright.
There they go.
Pierce is right. I guess he really isn't in any condition to be questioned. Well, let's go back to the agency and sort through what we've learned. Back home to see if there's a corpse here in the form of Athena. September 22nd, right? Anything. Agency. We're back. Anybody here?
I'm alive! Oh, hi, boss.
Athena, I thought you were with Trucy.
I guess you could say that I'm taking a short break. But enough about me. What about the investigation? Did you find out anything?
Well, it turns out that the third person Ellen set as she saw at the crime scene might have been Soren Sprocket.
What? Really? I always thought that he seemed suspicious. Thing is, by the time Soren got to the Vista deck, the murder had already occurred, apparently. No way. I don't buy that. Not for a second. It's a cover-up. A cover-up, I tell you.
That's certainly a possibility. And as a lawyer, it's certainly a possibility I have to pursue, but...
But what? It's your job, right? So pursue the heck out of it. Just do it.
Yeah, but is that really what's best for Ellen?
Soren could be found guilty if the truth comes out tomorrow. But if we don't pursue this possibility, Ellen could be found guilty instead. Oh man. Either way, it sure doesn't spell out happily ever after for the two of them. So what are you gonna do, Mr. Wright?
I can't let an innocent person get convicted. So I guess all I can really do is pursue the truth. Even if it ends up devastating Ellen.
What a tough call to make. Still, there's always a chance, right? Maybe something will come up during the trial that will save their marriage.
I hope so. I really do. Well, Maya, let's go.
Break to Ellen, you mean?
Yep.
Mr. Wright, please take me with you. I bet I can help you counsel Ellen through this piece of bad news.
Athena, I appreciate the offer, but don't you have somewhere else to be?
Do I? I found you! I found you! Athena, what are you doing here? I've been looking all over for you. Come on now, let's get back to practicing. No, wait, I can't take it anymore. Boss, you gotta help me.
A lawyer always keeps their promises, Athena. You're going to die by Athena's magic.
Boss! Yell at me one more time, Athena. I'm going to use a real play on you.
Oh god. Run, Athena. Sorry, Athena, but somebody's gotta do it. Better you than me, though. I don't want to I don't want to traumatize Trucy if she potentially kills somebody with her having the blood of her own father on her hands. Also, I just don't want to die. You're more expendable than me. Hang in there, kiddo. Come on, Maya. We better get going. Alright, you're probably gonna try and break through this glass and strangle me, but you gotta know the truth. Detention Center, visitor's room. Hello, Ellen.
How'd your investigation go, Mr. Wright?
Before I answer that, I need to ask you something. Was Soren with you when Mr. Gloomsbury attacked you in the reception hall?
I'm sorry I kept it from you. I was afraid that he'd come under suspicion if I told you. So I kept quiet about it. I'm really sorry.
I see. I thought it was probably something like that. Listen, Ellen. I'm afraid I had to make a very difficult decision based on what I found.
What kind of decision?
This is very hard for me to say, but the mysterious person you saw at the scene of the crime was most likely Soren.
What?
Uh-oh. Sorry. In other words, in court tomorrow, I'm afraid I'll have to propose the possibility that Soren is the true culprit.
No! Soren is innocent! No!
But don't you see? If I don't try to pursue that line of thought, you'll be found guilty.
No!
Please, Ellen, calm down.
Soren just can't be found guilty. I'd much rather I be found guilty instead. Ellen, you can't let yourself think like that. Marriage is for life, right? Do you really think you can run away from the truth and still be truly happy with him? I'm married, talking you possibly understand. Sometimes you just have to hurry to make things work. But... Nick, you talk to her.
Hey, don't just dump this all on me.
That's right. I'm innocent and Soren is too. So please, prove our innocence in court.
I'll certainly do everything in my power. I just hope she doesn't lose control like this in court tomorrow. I can't just shirk from the truth. No matter how painful that truth may be. It's the only way forward, huh? Well, this is it. The final trial day, I'm pretty sure. September 23rd, 8:50 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. So the one thing we found out yesterday is that Soren was there at the crime scene. I only hope I can get some testimony from him that'll get to the heart of the matter.
That's right.
Good morning, Ellen. Look, I'm afraid you might not like the result of today's trial. Nevertheless...
Don't tell me you're still thinking of going that route. Soren is innocent. He can't be found guilty. Take me instead.
Ellen, please, try and get a hold of yourself.
No.
Oh.
I believe in Soren with all my heart.
You know, I just noticed something. We have white flowers here. Yellow flowers here. And there were red flowers in the photo that Larry had.
How dare you doubt him? Regardless of which one of them is found guilty today, it's gonna be devastating for Ellen, isn't it?
We'll just have to do everything we can. That's the best we can do, you know. The trial's about to begin, Mr. Wright. Alright, let's go, Maya.
Yeah.
I don't think either of them are the killers, from what my memories of this game are telling me, because I'm pretty sure it has to be Pierce. Pierce is the only one that I remember as being the culprit in my mind. It's just a matter of how do we get there. Oh yeah, district courtroom. Court is now in session. Why don't I have my own ally? Phoenix, you always get to have Maya, you get to have Athena, Apollo. You even have, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be surprised if you had your own daughter with you on that side of the bench at some point. So why the hell do I not get an assistant? I want an assistant. The only thing I've gotten that's close to an assistant is freaking Von Karma, I'm pretty sure. And you know the history I have with him. Mr. Edgeworth, you don't need to trauma dump on us right now. Anyways, court is now back in session for the trial of Ellen White. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution is pissed off, Your Honor. Disregarding Edgeworth, let's see now, where were we? In yesterday's session, we found out about the Sprocket family's conspiracy to cover up the murder of Dumas Gloomsbury with a second reception. Taking advantage of our collective shock, the defense, as usual, made a nonsensical claim. Namely, that there was a third person present who struck the victim.
Objection!
Boy, I know I've done some ridiculous things in my career. I've summoned a parrot to the stand. I've summoned a dolphin. I've had a radio. I've run across a burning bridge and almost died. And, I've almost been killed in another country's court. Or I've had, I've had an assassin copy my face. I understand, but that's probably the least ridiculous thing I have brought up, Edgeworth, and you know it. Don't try and make it sound like I made it all up. The defendant herself made a statement about the existence of a third person, and further investigation has only proven her statement to be true. And I presume the defense intends to focus on proving the identity of this third person. Is that all right with you, Miss Edgeworth? Indeed, Your Honor. In fact, I predict that the defense will most likely attempt to name Mr. Soren Sprocket as the true culprit. How did you... The driver during the accident that killed Mr. Sprocket's sister was victim. I see you've done some equally good research, Edgeworth. Therefore, Mr. Sprocket had a motive to murder Mr. Gloomsbury. That's what you plan to assert, is it not, Mr. Wright? Am I that transparent? Come now, Mr. Wright. Did you really think the police wouldn't uncover this information? Congrats on getting it in one, Mr. Edgeworth.
But
I assume it's...
Yep. You're wrong. Soren didn't do it. He's innocent.
Miss Wyatt, please.
He's innocent, I tell you.
What is this, Mr. Wright? I thought your claim about the existence of a third person came from the defendant. Oh, damn it, Edgeworth! Damn it, this is what your game is. Damn it. Fly bastard. I did it. This is just a minor hiccup. Did you not discuss your strategy for today with the defendant, Mr. Wright? Starting off on the wrong foot again is seriously cutting into my lifespan. It would appear that the defense is in disarray. Therefore, the best way to clear things up is to ask Mr. Sprocket himself what happened. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to call Soren Sprocket to the stand. What? Very well. Bailiff, please bring Mr. Sprocket to the witness stand.
Look at my shoes. I'm so cool.
I do kind of like his design, honestly. I actually really like it. Witness, please state your name and occupation.
No. Here, Judge. Catch this.
Ow! There's something written on this paper airplane. Let's see. Soren Sprocket, Managing Director of Sprocket Aviation. Mr. Sprocket, please give your answers in words, not paper airplanes. Now then, Mr. Sprocket. Please tell that doubting lawyer there what really happened at the time of the crime.
No.
Well, Mr. Sprocket. Answer me, damn it! Mr. Sprocket! No.
No. All right.
Edgeworth. Can never get a straight answer out of anybody.
You want me to talk about what happened when the crime occurred? In other words, after the first wedding reception? When Ellen and I were in the reception hall, right?
Not even the power of the court can stop him from marching to the beat of his own drum.
Well...
What Soren remembers. I was stabbed by Dumas in this reception hall, and I collapsed to the floor. The next thing I saw was Ellen and Dumas in the Vista deck. I knew Ellen was in danger, so I headed for the Vista deck. When I got there, Dumas was already... I don't want to believe it, but it must have been Ellen. Nothing else makes sense. Wait just a minute here. You actually think Miss White killed the victim? That's right. Dumas was killed by Ellen. This is unbelievable. How can you suspect your bride, the woman you love? I don't think he does. My best guess, trying to piece together my memories of when I last played this game from years ago, I think I remember... I don't think he remembers anything. I think he leaves all his memories to his book. Ever since that incident happened, I think he's chosen to just not remember. He leaves all his memories in his book. But the problem with that is it leaves it very easily open to manipulation. All it'd take is one person and writing something different in his book with the same handwriting as him, and suddenly he would believe it as truth.
Objection!
Oh, Mr. Wright. The truth can be cruel. Miss White, you must be very upset. Is there anything you wish to say? Oh.
No, I can't believe this. Soren, I thought that at least you would believe in me.
The best way now to show your love for your groom is to admit your guilt and try to atone.
Soren...
Hold it!
No! Mr. Edgeworth, I haven't even cross-examined the witness yet. And quit picking on the clearly distraught.
Yeah, that's so not cool, Mr. Edgeworth.
A court is where we seek the truth, not be cool. And I'm plenty cool, so shut up. And the truth is unyielding, even to the truly pitiful. Miss Edgeworth, I found it distasteful to make a lady cry. Am I the it too, Your Honor?
So what are you going to do, Nick?
Am I the only one here with a sane mind? If the third person Ellen saw on the Vista deck was Soren, and we have to prove Soren was there at the time of the murder, I don't see any obvious inconsistencies in his testimony, but we have to push forward. It too, Your Honor. Why? What kind of sway has Phoenix gained in the years that I've been away? I was stabbed by Dumas in the reception hall, and I collapsed to the floor.
Hold it!
Please tell me everything you can about when you got stabbed. After the reception, Ellen and I were enjoying a moment alone in the reception hall. Then Dumas appeared and stabbed me. He grabbed Ellen and the timekeeper and left the reception hall. Did Mr. Bloomsbury say anything at that time? I don't remember. After I was stabbed, I was immobilized by the pain. I see. Why did I just got like a flash of memories saying that you did something really insane. What did you do? I just got a feeling that you did something insane, and I don't know what I have to feel about that. The next thing I saw was Ellen and Dumas on the Vista deck.
Hold it!
The Vista deck, huh? But it was nighttime then. Could you really see them in the darkness? The moon was out, so I could see them clearly. From the looks of it, Dumas was trying to push Ellen and the timekeeper off the side. So you saw the defendant? About to be thrown off the airship, you say? That's right. In such a desperate situation, it would only be natural for her to fight for her life. The murder weapon was right there within her grasp. This isn't going well at all. I've got to do something fast. I have to prove that he wasn't killed there, I think. I knew Ellen was in danger, so I headed for the Vista deck.
Hold it!
Because I don't believe that Gloomsbury could not have been killed by from Ellen at the Vista deck. I don't think he died at the Vista deck. Because the thing that makes me think that is the blood handle. The bloody handle, the silver should be on the inside. And we know that Gloomsbury had blood on his left hand. I think that's gotta be Soren's blood, and I'm trying to think. I think that Gloomsbury was alive, and then he tried exiting the Pegable statue that he was put inside. And then sometime after that is when he got killed. Once he tried exiting, and he got the blood of Soren on the inside of the Pegable when he was trying to leave the statue that he was put in because he was thought to have already been killed. Now the question is, I don't think Ellen or Sprocket could have killed him, but I don't think that's the case. But I don't think it's impossible for Ellen or Soren to have at least attacked him and thought they killed him. I think it's possible. Whoops! I just unplugged my headset. Give me a second. Music has all gone deaf on me. I think it's possible that Soren or Ellen may have attacked Gloomsbury and may have knocked him out and thought that they had killed him, but then at some point afterwards, he may have survived. He actually ended up surviving and tried leaving. But maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. I understand that your bride was in danger, but were you really able to move with a stab wound to the gut? I was desperately trying to push the pain out of my mind. I see. So adrenaline kicked in and gave you strength. Is that right? I don't see much of anything in this statement that I can refute. That's right. I almost passed out several times as I made my way to the Vista deck. When I got there, Dumas was already...
Hold it!
Are you absolutely sure, Mr. Sprocket, that by the time you got to the Vista deck, the murder had already been committed? Yes. But the Vista deck is just on the other side of the glass windows in the reception hall. Shouldn't you have been able to get there right away?
Objection!
Oh, foolish Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright, are you investigating nothing? The only way to the Vista deck is to go to the hold and take the lift. Wait! I think I just remembered. Oh, there's no way. Did you do what I think you did? You remember that door in the Flying Chapel that we saw where the maid said, hey, if you go out that door, you're going to plummet to your death? Is there a chance he could have just said screw it and, like, tried climbing across it? Well, that's unhelpful. The Soren had to have gone there before the murder, or my claim won't stand. Do you have any ideas for me, Maya?
It's definitely easier to prove that someone did go to the hold than not. I mean, you can't leave anything if you don't go someplace, right?
Can't leave anything? Wait a minute. I think Maya's onto something here. The lack of a certain something actually proves that Soren didn't go to the hold. What's the matter? Are you stumped already? Edgeworth. No, I'm far from stumped, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm surprised! I know for a fact that Mr. Sprocket didn't go to the hold. You and your paper-thin bluffs. Mr. Sprocket's bloodstain on the lift proves he went through the hold. So what possible proof could you have that he did not, in fact, go through there? You want proof? You got... I know what the proof is! It's this! If he really did go through there, then his card should have been there. You can do this, Phoenix. There's gotta be proof that Soren didn't go through the hold. We're Mr. Wright? There's very obvious proof. If he went through the hold, then he should have had his card scanned. But the fact of the matter is, he didn't. He never went through the hold.
Take that!
As anyone can see from the hold entry record, there's absolutely no mention of Soren Sprocket entering the hold. The defense asserts that Mr. Sprocket used a different route to get to the Vista deck. You can assert all you want, Mr. Wright, but can you actually prove another route exists? Can I prove the existence of another route to the Vista deck? Ooh, dearie. I think I can. I can prove it. Even if it's just a bluff, I have to present something. Anything that could prove the existence of a faster route to the Vista deck. Very well, Mr. Wright. Show us how Mr. Sprocket got to the Vista deck. Mr. Sprocket made for the Vista deck through here. I'm going for it. There's a door.
Take that!
saved his bride from danger, Mr. Sprocket. Yep! Opened the escape hatch and made his way along the outside wall of the Vista deck. Isn't that right, Mr. Sprocket? It would allow it. That would certainly be a much faster route to the Vista deck.
Objection!
Yeah, if you want to die, that is. Are you insane, Phoenix? I'm disappointed, Mr. Wright. Is that really the best you can muster? That escape hatch is not meant for it to be used to get to the get from the reception hall to the Vista deck. One slip, and that's all it would take for Mr. Sprocket to plunge to his death. I have to agree. The defense's claim is really stretching it.
Hold it!
I understand how it sounds, Your Honor. But at this point, it's too early to definitively say that he didn't go that way. So that's what you're going with, then, I take it? Of course, Your Honor. This is real life, Mr. Wright, not some cinematic drivel or comic book. I've already disproved your frickin' time travel plot. Now I'm going to disprove that the victim actually has a sane mind. Do you have some sort of logical explanation to share that would convince us of your claim? I do.
Are you sure, Nick?
Kind of. Actually, I have nothing. So I'll just have to wing it somehow. On what do you base your theory that Mr. Sprocket made his way along the outside? My theory that he was able to go along with the outside wall despite the danger is based on... Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I'm making a mistake. To save the bride he loves, the groom risked his life and rushed to her side. Mr. Sprocket was able to make it to the Vista deck despite the danger because of the power of love. The power of love? That love is a source of strength that can help one overcome any obstacle. I think I can relate, thanks to my own long, happy marriage. Wow, he actually seems to be buying it.
Objection!
Unfortunately for you, Wright, I don't believe in love. The power of love, you say? That kind of illogical argument is hardly viable in a court of law. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? No. I'm afraid not, Miss Edgeworth. You should never underestimate the power of love. You'll understand one day when you get... which I won't! I hate you all! Exactly what is so wrong with wishing to remain unwed? Way to set him off, Your Honor. Regardless, never mind all this unscientific nonsense. Are you aware, Mr. Wright, that at the time of the crime, there were huge repellers turning at full speed between the hatch and the Vista deck? No, I wasn't. Even if a person were to go outside through the hatch. Porn. I'm sorry, I really love the visual the game gives, like, they'd be blown away in an instant. Where does your power of love get you now, Mr. Wright? A huge spinning propeller, you say? In that case, I have to admit it does seem impossible. Oh, I should have known.
Nick, you can't make that kind of face in front of your client. Where's the times when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles? Right?
Right. I feel like I just saw Mia looking at me through Maya's eyes.
What's wrong, Nick? Why are you gaping at me like a giant sunfish?
Thank you, Maya. You just helped me remember something really important.
There it is. There's that fearless smile I was looking for. Now give it some mind-blowing theory, just like you always do.
I have to turn my thinking around. Instead of wondering how Soren could have moved past that huge propeller, I have to think about what would have made it possible for him to do so. Your Honor, Mr. Wright only makes that ridiculous face when his back is pressed against the wall. Therefore, please do hurry and give your ruling before—
Hold it!
Damn it, I'm too late! Mr. Edgeworth, it's still far too early to discount my theory. Damn it! Why? What are you talking about? The airship's large spinning propellers have already shredded it to pieces. But if we think a little more outside the box, I'm sure we can find a way he could have made it. Stop trying to stall, Mr. Wright. and show us how it could have been even remotely possible, if at all.
I must agree with Miss Edgeworth.
Very well, Your Honor. There must have been a way. Some way that Swarm could have moved along that wall in spite of the propeller.
Now then, Mr. Wright, what specifically would have made it possible?
This is how it would have been possible for the Mr. Sprocket to get to the Vista deck. You know, now that I think about it, what if the airship wasn't flying? What allowed Mr. Sprocket to go along the outside of the wall despite the propellers is that the location of the flying chapel is the time of the crime.
The location of the flying chapel? But wasn't it flying high in the sky?
I don't think so. No, Your Honor. I'm afraid it wasn't.
What? Then where was it?
At the time of the murder, the airship wasn't flying through the sky, but moored to the ground.
What?
And if the airship wasn't flying, then that means there'd be no propellers to worry about, right? The propellers weren't turning. Aha! In which case, it would have been very easy in that case for him to not have to worry about propellers. Mr. Sprocket could have gone to the Vista deck along the outside wall. Isn't that right, Mr. Sprocket? Oh, ow! I don't remember. Ow, he stabbed himself with his pencil. That's gonna leave a mark.
Objection!
Even if the propellers weren't turning, it would have been far too risky to go that way.
Ah, but Mr. Edgeworth, you're forgetting about the power of love.
Yes, the amazing power of love.
I hate love. Not this again.
Ah, fine. Very well. For the sake of argument, let's assume the so-called power of love made it possible for Mr. Sprocket to move along the outside wall of the airship. But can you prove that the airship was tied to the ground as you claim, Mr. Wright?
Well, I don't have any evidence that proves where the airship was at the time.
You can prove it, can't you?
Maya, can you think of anything we can use to prove it?
Can't say I can. Oh, wait. Didn't somebody see something outside a window at the time of the crime?
The pterodactyl? But what was it? Was it? There's no way.
I think I remember someone saying as much.
There's no... Do I have a piece of evidence that shows what was outside the airship? There's no way he saw...
Well, what are you waiting for?
This piece of evidence shows what was outside the airship at the time of the crime. Edgeworth, I get the feeling you're about to strangle me, but... It's time for Larry's vengeance!
Take that!
This piece of evidence shows what was outside the airship at the time of the murder.
What kind of lousy drawing is that?
It's a drawing made by Larry Butts.
And what can you prove with that poor attempt at artistry?
Larry made this drawing before he switched to lanterns, so it must have been right around when the murder was being committed. Now, if I could direct the court's attention here...
Is that a pterodactyl? Does that mean that the airship actually went back in time to the Cretaceous period?
Objection!
No.
I agree with him here. We've already proven that time travel is nothing more than a gimmick, did we not?
Exactly. We did, and I have no intention of bringing up that argument again. But this drawing shows us an important piece of information. It shows us that the airship was actually moored to the ground.
And what makes you so sure?
That's easy. All you have to do is consider who made this drawing.
I'm going to kill him. I'm genuinely going to kill Larry. I'm genuinely... Larry? Where the hell are you?
That's right. It was Mr. Butts, and we both know what he's like. He must have seen something else and mistaken it for a pterodactyl.
I can't argue with you there.
Hey, wait just one doggone second here. What kind of moron you guys take me for? Also, when did I get here? I saw with my own eyes. The pterodactyl flew right by the window, I tell you. I have the sharp eyes of an artist. Don't you believe me?
No.
Heck.
Nope.
Some friends you guys are. What about the judge? You believe me, right, Your Honor?
No. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid you need to leave this courtroom. Bailiff, if you would, kill him. Why doesn't anyone believe me? Bailiff, kill him. With pleasure. Don't take it personally, Larry. I know you're just being... well, you. Now then, you're saying that what Mr. Butts really saw bears some relation to what was outside the airship at the time of the murder? Yes, Your Honor. At least I think it does. What this pterodactyl really is will prove that the airship was anchored in the mooring dock. It better, anyway. If it doesn't, my whole argument is a bust. If you're that confident about it, then please go ahead and tell us what it really was. Yes, Your Honor.
So what could that be? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I know what it is. I know exactly what it is. Oh my gosh. It's the freaking map!
Take that!
Please take a good look at this sign.
The sign? It appears to have been broken and then repaired. But what does this sign have to do with the pterodactyl?
Please focus on this part of the sign.
The part that broke off and got reattached? What about it?
How about if we turn it like this?
Oh, that shape. It's the pterodactyl in the drawing.
Wow, Larry actually got it perfectly. Larry actually drew it perfectly somehow. What? What Mr. Butts actually saw was this chunk as it was being blown through the air by the wind.
What?
It has to be. That matches up too perfectly. On the day of the murder, there were some heavy winds in the area of the mooring dock. But it's hard to imagine that this sign would make it up as high as an airship would fly. That means the flying chapel must have been anchored at the mooring dock that night. Isn't that right, Mr. Sprocket?
Objection!
That's more than enough of this power of love nonsense, you pop culture junkie. Present all the proof you want, but your argument is based far too much in conjecture. Why don't we turn to reality now?
What do you mean, too much conjecture?
Even if the airship wasn't flying, that alone doesn't prove the witness went along the wall. True. Even now, it's nothing more than a possibility.
Then how do you propose Mr. Sprocket got to the Visa deck, Edgeworth?
I noticed something as I went over the evidence. Please take a look at this hold entry record.
What about it? I don't see Mr. Sprocket listed on here anywhere.
Don't you remember? In yesterday's session, we had a very similar kind of argument.
We did?
Honestly, Mr. Wright, are you going senile already? We talked about Larry Butts using the defense keycard to enter the hold.
Oh, we did talk about that, didn't we?
In other words, even if a person's name isn't on the entry card,
It's still possible for that person to have entered by using someone else's card.
Ah! Mr. Sprocket, you entered the hold with Mr. Neckety, didn't you?
I did. What? Why didn't you tell us that in the first place? Pierce is indispensable. I didn't want to mention him unnecessarily and risk having him wrongly accused. I couldn't do without him.
Mr. Sprocket, I asked you testify in grave detail about your movements that night.
Witness testimony. Here we go. The truth. The truth is, I went to the Visa deck with Pierce. That's why my name doesn't appear on the hold entry record. I was badly injured from being stabbed, but I was frantic. By the time we reached the scene, it was all over. That's bad. Well, this doesn't help me one bit.
Mr. Sprocket, you've concealed information from us time and time again.
Who do you think you are, treating this court of law with such irreverence?
That being said, I do appreciate the testimony you gave just now. Thanks to you, we now know why your name doesn't appear on the entry record. Now there are no more inconsistencies in the witness's testimony.
It's Mr. Edgeworth for you. He never leaves a loose end dangling. You okay, Nick?
I won't exactly call this situation okay. Somehow I'll have to coax the information we'll need for an opening out of him. If I even can, that is. There's gotta be something. There's something wrong with this testimony, I feel. I still think that's Pierce that's manipulating the notebook and making him think things that didn't actually happen. The truth is, I went to the Vista deck with Pierce.
Hold it!
Okay. Tell us more about that, then. You didn't mention this because you didn't want Mr. Nickety to fall under suspicion. Is that because he has something to hide? I just didn't want the police to take up his time with all their questions, that's all. Neither the company nor the household would function smoothly without him. I see. Wow. Sounds like Pierce is absolutely indispensable to the Sprockets. Anyway, getting back to your statement. When did you meet up with Mr. Nickety? We met up on my way to the Vista deck. I think Pierce and some of my relatives were on our floor. But Pierce heard the commotion and came running to my aid. He could hear the pandemonium all the way up from our floor. Mr. Wright, would you like the current statement added to the witness's testimony? He could hear the... He could hear that? Yeah, have it added. Yes, please, Your Honor. Very well. Pierce heard the commotion and he came running.
Hold it!
Okay. Did Mr. Nickety come alone? I believe some of his subordinates were with him, but I don't remember exactly how many. You may say there were others, but seeing how they pulled that second reception off, I can't completely trust anything he has to say either. I see. So you, Mr. Nickety, and a few others head to the Vista deck, is that right? That's right. That's why my name doesn't appear on the hold entry record.
Hold it!
Your name doesn't appear on the hold entry record because you entered with Mr. Nickety using his keycard. That's right. So I guess the hold entry record doesn't matter as much as we thought. But now that someone's saying he was with Pierce and a few others, it's pretty tough to refute that statement. What's wrong? What's the matter, Mr. Wright? Cat got your tongue? Did you finally realize there's no point in continuing this trial any longer? Of course not. Ugh, wipe that smug look off your face. Mr. Sprocket, please continue with your testimony. I was badly injured from being stabbed, but I was frantic.
Hold it!
Speaking of your injury, how are you doing now? The knife wound is deep and continues to throb with pain. Fortunately, my internal organs were spared, but one wrong move would have spelled the end for me there. Even so, I've seen you up and about all over the place since the incident. I'm only following my doctor's orders to perform some daily light exercises. Mr. Wright, would you like Mr. Sprocket's statement about his condition added to his testimony? Not that it appears especially relevant to me. Should I? Absolutely. You think I didn't notice that? Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to have it added to his testimony. I see. Very well. You think I didn't notice what you just said? The knife wound is quite deep and continues to throb with pain. You think I didn't notice that, boyo? What knife are you talking about? That wasn't a knife! That was this!
Objection!
Mr. Sprocket, you just said your injury is a knife wound, didn't you? But the weapon you were stabbed with was this candelabra. A fact I know you're quite aware of. Very well. This is what I heard directly from Master Sorn himself. As you surmise, Master Sorn was stabbed by Gloomsbury on the day of the murder. It happened after the first wedding reception. The happy couple was in the reception hall when suddenly Gloomsbury appeared. He attacked Miss Ellen and tried to take her away. Master Sorn went to stop him and found himself in a struggle with Gloomsbury. That is when Master Sorn was stabbed with the candelabra, he said. So...
Objection!
It must have been a simple memory slip that made him misspeak. It happens to everyone. It has nothing to do with the case. Nice try, though. You must be pretty desperate to point out something so minute. I have to agree, Mr. Wright. You hardly need to make such a big deal over a small mistake. but I contend that it's an important inconsistency. Besides, I couldn't find anything else. This is the only thing I have to go after. And I say it's not important. Now, let's not waste any more time on this matter. I agree. Everybody has a little memory lapse every now and then.
Hold it!
But Your Honor, please let me explain. But can you really explain to this court what makes this slip so important? Yes, I can, Your Honor. After all, it was Soren himself who told Pierce that he had been stabbed by a candelabra. This is more than a simple memory slip. There has to be some kind of reason for it. Well, Mr. Wright, please explain why the witness's slip of the tongue is so important. The point to focus on here is why the witness would mistake the weapon used to stab him. Think carefully, Phoenix. This could very well change the course of the trial. I see. So why did the witness make that mistake, Mr. Wright? Mr. Sprocket identified the wrong weapon used against him because... I don't think he's got memories of it. He has no memory. He doesn't remember the incident, let alone the weapon used against him. Not only that, but I believe Mr. Sprocket has some sort of memory disorder. Therefore, the defense contends that Mr. Sprocket's testimony thus far is invalid.
Objection!
Seriously? Just because you can't find a flaw in his testimony, you want to throw it all out? Your basic claim is nothing but pure slander of the witness's character. Ms. Edgeworth is correct, Mr. Wright. Can you explain what your grounds for making this claim? Of course, Your Honor. Think of what Soren has said, how he's behaved. That's where I'll find a clue. Very well, let's hear your argument then. My grounds for claiming that Mr. Sprocket has a memory disorder is... It has to be his notebook, right? The notebook he always has with him. I saw daily events and information about the people around him recorded in it. Like a diary, perhaps? No. No, Your Honor. It's much too detailed to be an ordinary diary. It's more on the order of a database, actually. A database, you say? That's right. For some reason, Mr. Sprocket is apparently unable to retain memories. That's why he writes every little detail of his life down in his notebook.
Objection!
How could you possibly know that for sure? He might be just be an extremely compulsive person. I thought so too myself, at first. To be honest, we accidentally got a stain on that notebook yesterday. You mean you got a stain on it? Hey, you're the one who tried to grab it out of my...
Objection!
That's irrelevant. Never mind whose fault it was. Just get to the point already. Right. Sorry. Mr. Sprocket. The page Miss Faye got a stain on yesterday. That's the page with the details of your stabbing on it, isn't it? No, I only write in this notebook because I'm very compulsive. Now drop the subject already. Sorry, but I'm not convinced. I noticed an odd fact about your notebook, Mr. Sprocket. On the earlier pages, you used it to write down invention ideas, but after a certain date, you started writing down a lot more and in much more detail. I believe your memory disorder stems from what happened on that date. Something so monumental it caused a memory disorder, Mr. Wright. You don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, but I do know what I'm talking about, and this is the proof. This is the thing that caused Mr. Sprocket's memory disorder. It has to be this.
Take that!
You were involved in this car accident too, weren't you, Mr. Sprocket? And the shock of losing your beloved older sister is what caused you to develop your memory disorder. Is this true, Mr. Sprocket? Well, is it? You can't, Mr. Sprocket. It's true. That accident did something to my mind. What? Ever since that day, every time I go to sleep, I lose my memories. Damn. And when I wake up, the most recent thing I can remember is the day I lost my sister. It's as if I'm constantly going back in time. What? That's truly tragic. An inconsolable time traveler who goes back in time whenever he goes to sleep. And that's why Alan says he believes in it. Besides, time travelers do exist, you know. But you won't understand.
He was talking about himself. So that's what Soren meant. He was talking about himself. The reactions of the people around me each time I awoke made me aware of my condition. That's when I decided to write everything down in my notebook, so I can move forward. So the only memories you have since that day are the ones written in that notebook. That's right. And since the page about your stabbing got stained, you couldn't read from it, could you? There's just one thing I'd like you to clarify for me, Mr. Sprocket. Exactly what are your feelings towards the victim?
Mr. Sprocket's feelings towards Dumas Gloomsbury?
That's right, Your Honor. The witness said that every time he wakes up from sleep, his mind goes back to the day his sister died.
Mr. Wright, you can't mean...
Mr. Sprocket, your pent-up feelings of anger and resentment towards Mr. Gloomsbury for the accident were renewed each and every time you woke, were they not? You couldn't take it anymore, so you turned to murder. Isn't that right?
What? Mr. Wright, are you saying that the witness murdered Mr. Gloomsbury? For revenge?
Well, Mr. Sprocket, Uh-oh, it's gonna be Ellen. It's 100% gonna be Ellen. Yep. Miss Wyatt. Your Honor, I did it. I killed Mr. Gloomsbury. Damn it! No! What? You idiot! Miss Wyatt, what are you trying to do? Don't tell me you're still thinking of going in that room. Soren is innocent. He can't be found guilty. Take me instead. Ellen, please, try and get a hold of yourself. Damn it! I actually really meant it. My Soren didn't do anything wrong. I'm the one who should be convicted.
Are we to understand that you're confessing your guilt?
No. Wait, now wait just a minute. Ellen, why would you cover up for me? After I testified that I thought you must have killed him. I'll admit, I couldn't believe my ears at first. But all I want is for you to be happy. Your happiness is my happiness, Soren. Without my notebook, I'd even forget those feelings of yours by tomorrow. Knowing that, do you still feel this way? You've lost me all this time. The same way you did before the accident. That's how I know that you're the same person I've always loved. No story can change that. Ellen. Your Honor, there are two things I'd like to correct.
Two corrections. What are they?
First of all, I want to withdraw one of my statements. That's right. Dumas was killed by Ellen. Huh? Without memories to rely on, I took the police completely at their word.
You can't be serious.
So that means Soren never really doubted Ellen in the first place, did he, Nick?
Ellen really does love Soren with all her heart. But in order to save her, I'll still have to go after Soren. I hope you can forgive me, Ellen.
And what is your other correction, Mr. Sprocket?
The truth is, I never felt anger or resentment towards Dumas about my sister.
What? Why not?
That's because the one who caused the car accident was me.
What? What? Edgeworth, help me! What am I supposed to do? I'm the one against you, Wright. Order! Order in the court! Please continue, Mr. Sprocket.
I'm the one who killed my sister. To protect my career and my future, my father made Dumas take the blame. In exchange for money and the position of lead servant.
What?
Soren was the one driving. So you see, Dumas must have held a grudge against me, not the other way around. And he must have attacked Ellen to get his revenge on me. Are you sure about all this, Mr. Sprocket? Very sure. It's all been written down in detail in my notebook.
That notebook is important evidence supplying background to this case. I must insist you submit it as evidence.
A database-like notebook account that chronicles the events of each day in minute detail. The lawyer said I had turned to murder, but that's just not true. However, it is true that my older sister and Dumas are both dead because of me and my negligence.
I just glanced through Mr. Sprocket's notebook. I'm gonna do it too. So I've been writing nothing but ideas for his inventions in this until March 8th of last year, when he abruptly began a chronicle of events of each day in excruciating detail. However, details of the day of the murder have been rendered illegible by a bloodstain. I wasn't able to read the part about when he was stabbed due to the bloodstain, but what's written here about his sister's car accident is exactly as he stated. Your Honor, as long as it matches with what's written in the notebook, can we still take the witness testimony as valid, in spite of his memory disorder? Yes, I believe we can. I understand now that the witness's memory is in disarray. But if what Mr. Sprocket himself wrote in this notebook is true, then that means by the time Mr. Sprocket's parties reached the scene, the victim had already been killed.
Ashforth's right. I'm still in the same bind as before. Should I really simply accept the contents of the notebook as a substitute for Soren's memory?
But Mr. Wright, what do you think? Will you accept Mr. Sprocket's notebook as an official representation of his memories?
I can't. I don't think so. All it takes is someone being able to copy his handwriting, and then suddenly his memories become whatever they desire. I refuse it. Wait a minute, Your Honor. The defense requests a chance to examine the notebook to see if it's trustworthy.
Very well. But be quick about it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So how should we examine it?
Well, we should look at it from all different angles to see if there's anything suspicious. Oh, we're actually going to look at it this way. Well, let's open it up. There's no point if I don't look at what's inside. I have to open it. With your permission, Soren, here I go. Yikes. Oh, there's just a page my guile stained. But I guess it's not going to be very helpful at this moment. I'll keep going. Oh? This is the last page where there's writing. Something about this page doesn't sit right with me. Wait. No. I better take a closer look. What's this? Why is this... Huh? The page has been torn out. It looks like there was something written on it. It looks like a page has been torn out here. Mr. Sprocket, do you know what was written on it? Oh, that? I often tear out my pages when I write somebody a note. I probably wrote something down for somebody and tore it out and gave it to them. Yeah, you've had a habit of doing that to me. Oh, yeah.
That solves that, then.
Objection!
I don't think so. Wait a minute. We can't ignore the possibility that something important was written on that page.
But now that the page has been torn out, how can we determine what was written there?
Well... let's see. To find out what was written in the notebook, we should... What? Emma, use your powder! If we use fingerprint powder on the notebook, we might be able to see what was written.
Fingerprint powder? How would that help us find out what was written there?
Well, if the writing left indentations on the blank page behind it, fingerprint powder could make those small indentations visible to the naked eye.
Oh, stop. Fingerprint powder would only sully the notebook further. Mr. Wright, if you use the powder and still don't find anything, then you must accept the notebook as a representation of the witness's memories.
Alright, Your Honor. I understand. If I don't find anything, it's all over anyway. Powder, don't fail me now. I will now use fingerprint powder on the blank page to find out if we can see what was written on the torn out page. Here we go! First, I'll apply some fingerprint powder to the pages, and then I've dusted enough. I'll use that button, and then blow away the powder. Some should appear. I should switch to analyze mode, point to what came up, then confirm space my choice. Blah, blah, blah. I struck? I struck and killed Duma. It says, I struck and killed Dumas. This is huge. Guys! I struck and killed Dumas. That's what was written on the torn out page. What? It can't be.
I don't believe it. There has to be some kind of mistake. Zora would never, could never.
And she's passed out. Miss Wyatt!
Bailiff, please get the defendant to the infirmary.
I still don't believe he killed him.
Apparently, the defendant got too worked up. She's resting in the infirmary as we speak. Now then, please continue, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor. This notebook is all Mr. Sprocket has to remember things by. With this critical page torn out, not even Mr. Sprocket himself knew of the truth of what he'd done. I'm the one who killed Dumas. So it wasn't Ellen. Oh, thank goodness. Mr. Sprocket, does this mean you were at this crime scene during the murder after all? I guess I must have been. A notebook that records Soren's memories in minute detail. One of the pages has been torn out. But Mr. Sprocket, can we really believe what's written in this notebook? Nobody touches this notebook but me. And when I sleep, it's under lock and key. I don't remember writing that I killed Dumas, but I guess I must have.
Well, now that we have a confession, I'm afraid I must render my verdicts.
Of all the... Yes, Your Honor. Please give me your ruling now while Ellen is asleep. I want the woman I love to be set free as soon as possible.
Soren really does love Ellen after all, doesn't he?
Yeah. So this is how it ends. Is that how it really went down? Is there really no way for them both to be happy?
I know we should consider anything written in a notebook to be the truth, but still.
I myself wrote the crime in my notebook. No further proof is necessary. Soren himself wrote it in his notebook. Wait a minute.
Very well. I will now give my verdict.
Ellen is about to be found not guilty, and Soren will be convicted for the crime instead. And yet, am I ready for the judge to give his ruling? No. It's not over. Not when there's still one more avenue left to explore.
This court finds the defendant, Ellen White.
Hold it!
No. Your Honor, there's still something that bothers me about that notebook.
Oh, is there? What are you doing, Mr. Wright? All you have to do is keep quiet and your client's a free woman.
I know, but I think there might be more to this case than meets the eye. I'm not quite sure yet, but I think there still might be a way. A way for Ellen and Soren to be happy.
What do you mean by more than meets the eye, Mr. Wright?
I believe the question here, Your Honor, should be, why was the incriminating page torn out in the first place?
Why to destroy the evidence, I would imagine.
But removing it from the notebook is the same as removing it from Mr. Sprocket's memory. Which means he wouldn't have been able to trick the police if he came under suspicion. No, if he wanted to cover up his crime, he would have to remember that he had done it.
Just what are you getting at with this line of inquiry, Mr. Wright? Yes, please explain it so we can all understand.
Yes, Your Honor. The page was torn out of the notebook because... I think it's somebody else tore it out. Somebody who wanted to pin this crime on him. The incriminating page was torn out by somebody else.
What?
There's somebody else that needs to testify here.
Order! Order! Are you claiming a third person interfered with the notebook?
It's not all that surprising if you consider what happened up until now. After both the car accident and the murder of Dumas Gloomsbury, there was always a cover-up not far behind. But I had my notebook with me at all times. Did you? Because I remember you were in a panic yesterday because you couldn't find it. That's true.
So who orchestrated this particular cover-up, Mr. Wright?
If we think back over the course of the trial, it's pretty easy to guess. The one who may have tried to tamper with Soren's memory is... We're finally getting to the heart of this situation, I think. The one who orchestrated it all? Pierce Nickety. The one who tampered with the notebook in order to manipulate Mr. Sprocket's memory. It's Pierce Nickety. Pierce? Pierce tried to tamper with my memories? Pierce was manipulating me. Case in point, the 2 receptions that were held to cover up the murder. It was Mr. Nickety who directed the guests and orchestrated the entire scheme. No, it can't be. Which of my memories are mine? And which have been rewritten? When did he start rewriting my memories? Who wrote this? And this, and this, and this, and this, and this. Wait, don't. Sprocket, Soren! Soren! He literally took off. Whoa!
Look, Nick, he's going back down.
Soren. My memories. Ellen.
Now we need him in the infirmary.
Mr. Sprocket! Bailiff, please get Mr. Sprocket to the infirmary, on the double! Mr. Sprocket has been taken to the infirmary. We don't have to worry about him running away, so let us resume where we left off. Your Honor, the defense would like to call Pierce Nickety to the stand.
Objection!
We already know he carried out the cover-up to protect the company and Mr. Sprocket. What more do you want from him? This time it's different. The notebook, or rather Mr. Sprocket's memories, have been tampered with. That means the only person who knows the whole truth is now Mr. Nickety. Don't tell me. Are you actually trying to drum up a third suspect? In order to exonerate the defendant and her groom? I'm not drumming up anything, nor do I have any grounds to accuse him of anything. Yet. All I know is that Mr. Nickety is the only one who knows the truth. And I think he's still hiding something. Something we don't know about yet. No grounds yet, is there? Well, Miss Edgeworth, does the prosecution consent to calling the witness to the stand? It does, Your Honor. However, I would like a little time to talk with the witness before we do. Very well. We will break for a 20-minute recess. Oh boy, here we go. Pierce Nickety. He has to be the killer here. Wrong button, damn it! I did it again! September 23rd, District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Now I'll have to face Pierce on the stand. I'm not sure if I should be surprised or not. One thing's for sure, he won't be an easy adversary.
So, do you think Pierce did it?
It's too early to say anything at this point, but I do think he's still hiding something. Nick! Why don't you pin everything on Soren Loser back there? Looks like Larry still hasn't given up on Ellen. This Pierce guy's a real bad guy, and Soren and my Ellie will live happily ever after! Larry, that's not the kind of thing a decent human being says.
Shame on you, Larry.
Oh, boo-hoo! You think I don't know? I know I have to give up on my Ellie. But Nick, promise me you'll make her happy. She deserves happily ever after.
I'm sure Soren will make her happy once all this is said and done. Trial's about to resume, Mr. Wright. Alright, you ready, Maya?
Yep, let's go.
I'll be room for you, Nick.
At least it's something. September 23rd, District Court, courtroom number 6. Well, I'm here again.
This court is now back in session. Witness, please take the stand.
It's finally time for me. Hello. Me and my shoulder mech.
Please state your name and occupation.
My name is Pierce Nickety. I'm the Sprocket family butler.
Let's get straight to the point, Mr. Nickety. Someone tore out a page from Mr. Sprocket's notebook to manipulate his memories. And that person was you, wasn't it?
That is correct. What about it?
Well, that was easy. Damn, what the hell?
So why did you do it? Why did you tamper with Mr. Sprocket's notebook? Please allow me to explain. It pains me to do this, but I will tell you the truth.
It pains you?
That is correct. For my testimony will go against Master Soren's wishes.
Soren's wishes?
What is he talking about?
He's gonna still try and pin this on Ellen, isn't he? Why I tore out the page?
I rushed to the Visa deck, but the crime had already been committed. I saw Miss Ellen and Bloomsbury collapsed and Master Soren writing in his notebook. Master Soren said to me, I'll take the blame for the murder, so please take care of Ellen. But I went against his order. I tore the page out of his notebook and hid the body.
You're still gonna try and pin this on Ellen? Wait a second. What Mr. Sprocket was writing in his notebook at the time, could it be...
It was meant to be a confession and an admission he killed Bloomsbury himself.
He wrote that message to take the blame for Miss Wyatt.
That is correct. Master Soren did hit Bloomsbury with the timekeeper to save Ellen.
Then Mr. Sprocket was the culprit after all.
However, that blow did not kill Bloomsbury.
That makes sense. Mr. Sprocket's injury wouldn't have allowed him to put much force into it.
Enraged, Bloomsbury tried to attack Master Soren, who was already seriously wounded. But just in the nick of time, Miss Ellen hit Bloomsbury from behind, and finished him off, it would seem.
So the one who inflicted the fatal blow was the defendant?
Yes, that is correct. But Master Soren tried to take all the blame onto himself.
No way. This is pretty bad, Nick.
No, Ken. Pretty bad is an understatement. Well, well, Mr. Wright, it seems your decision to call for Mr. Nickety has backfired. For the true culprit behind this case remains the defendant, Ellen Wyatt.
Ugh, could this get any worse? But Pierce was involved in the cover-up plot, and I bet he still has something to hide.
He's hiding something. Alright, Pierce. Why I tore out the page. I rushed to the Visa deck, but the crime had already been committed.
Hold it!
Wait a minute. I thought you went to the Visa deck with Mr. Sprocket.
Actually, that is not true.
What? What do you mean?
I found this out afterward, but Master Soren went to the Visa deck alone. He went out the escape hatch in the reception hall and went along the outside wall.
What? You can't be serious. You mean Mr. Wright's addle-padded guess was actually correct? What's wrong with the addle-padding?
I suppose truth really is stranger than fiction.
So, Mr. Nickety, when you got to the scene, you saw Mr. Bloomsbury, Miss Wyatt, and Mr. Sprocket. Is that right? That is exactly right. I saw Miss Ellen and Bloomsbury collapsed and Master Soren writing in his notebook.
Hold it!
So when you and your group arrived at the Visa deck, murder had already been committed. That is correct. Bloomsbury had already been struck. Miss Ellen had lost consciousness, probably from the shock of the incident.
And how did Mr. Sprocket appear?
He was bleeding from the stab wound he had received from Bloomsbury. Barely conscious, he was writing something in his notebook.
So the mysterious third person Ellen saw really was Soren then?
Master Soren said to me, I'll take the blame for the murder, so please take care of Ellen.
Hold it!
So Mr. Sprocket wrote a note of confession in order to take the blame for Miss Wyatt. Yes, that notebook is the only form of memory Master Soren has. So you understand what his action meant, I trust?
What did it mean, Nick?
Soren, everything in that notebook is true. So Soren tried to take the blame,
by altering his own memory to make himself think he did it. No. Master Sorn truly loves Miss Ellen. It must have been love that made him do that. But I went against his order. I tore the page out of his notebook and hid the body.
Hold it!
Mr. Nickety, could you please tell this corp about that in more detail? That, you say? Which part do you mean, Mr. Wright? Could you be more specific? Oh, alright. What part do I want to know more about? I want to know more about him hiding the body, actually. Tell me more about that, please. Please tell me more about the hiding of the body. Very well. After saying he would take the blame, Master Sorn passed out. That's when I hid the body. I quickly took the lift down to the hold, where I hid Gloomsbury's still-warm body in that spare pickable lantern. So it was you who hid the body, not the defendant. To think Mr. Butts would move the lantern containing the body to the reception hall. Well, I did not see that coming. I don't blame you. Not even Larry can predict what Larry will do next. Maybe I should take another look at the lantern in evidence. Mr. Wright, would you like that statement added to the witness's testimony? Add it. Yes, please. Very well. Please add that statement to your testimony, Mr. Nickety. In the hold, I hid the still-warm body in the spare peggable lantern. I don't know.
Objection!
I don't think you're right. Could it be... Is that what happened? If what I'm thinking is true, then maybe I can prove neither Ellen nor Sorn did the deed. Mr. Nickety, you said the body was still warm when you hid it, correct? So then, what if Mr. Gloomsbury was still alive when you put his body inside the lantern? What? What? That's preposterous. Actually, this shows that the victim might have still been alive while inside the lantern. I'm afraid you'll have to point out which part you're talking about, Mr. Wright. This part here shows that the victim might have still been alive inside the lantern. It's the wheel.
Take that!
As you can see, the back end of the lantern is a door, and there's blood here on the wheel handle.
Objection!
That bloodstain must have gone there when the witness put the body inside the lantern. It in no way shows that the victim drew his last breath while he was inside the lantern. I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth, for you see, in putting this lantern back together, the police inadvertently placed the inside handle on the outside and vice versa. In other words, the wheel handles got swapped. Oh my, so they got swapped? Yes, they got swapped. What? But that's ridiculous! Not at all. If you compare the other male peggable lantern in the reception hall, it's quite obvious the wheel handles were attached backwards. The detective in charge of the restoration will see me in my office later. Sorry, Emma, and good luck. In that case, what does that bloodstain on the wheel handle mean? The bloodstain didn't get there by chance. When the victim was put inside the lantern, he was only unconscious, not dead. When he regained consciousness, he probably tried to get out of the lantern. So he grasped the inner wheel handle, and that's when the blood got on it. This proves that the victim was still alive when he was inside the lantern. At the time, I was completely convinced Gloomsbury was dead. Had I checked more carefully, he might have survived. Unfortunate to be sure, but not significant enough to change this trial's outcome. Really? Again, I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth. It actually has a very significant impact on this case. The victim was struck by the defendant, then died from his injuries sometime later. There's nothing more to it.
Objection!
That's where you're wrong. Let's take another look at Mr. Gloomsbury's autopsy report, shall we? Please focus on the description of his injuries. It says, one contusion was found on the back of the head and one on the side. Yes, the one Mr. Sprocket gave him and the one Miss White delivered to finish him off. I don't know about that. No, the defense would like to submit a different interpretation. A different interpretation?
The victim was knocked unconscious by the first blow and was then put into the lantern.
Then, what about the lethal blow by the defendant that the witness talked about?
Yes, well, that didn't happen. After some time, when the victim regained consciousness and tried to get out of the lantern, that's when he received the second blow that finished him off.
Taking into account the fact that the victim was alive for a period after the first hit, and that he did receive a second blow to the head, it does seem entirely possible.
Yes, as long as the first blow didn't kill the victim instantly. And there's a possibility that someone other than Mr. Sprocket or Miss Wyatt delivered the final fatal blow.
Objection!
That's all you've got? Even if there were a time lag between the two blows, the prosecution's position doesn't change.
What? What do you mean?
It's elementary, Mr. Wright.
After reception, when the defendant was cleaning up the reception hall,
the victim, who was supposed to be dead, suddenly came out of the lantern. The defendant grabbed the murder weapon, which was right there, and finished him off. The theory sounds awfully familiar. Of course it does, Your Honor, because it's exactly what I proposed at the very start.
the second blow was inflicted by the defendant after all.
I see. It seems a tangle of mysteries has unraveled into a single thread.
Objection!
But as long as there's a possibility that the fatal blow was delivered by a third person, then we must continue the deliberations.
Give it up, Mr. Wright. Unless you have something to prove the presence of your precious third person.
Okay, Nick. Just relax. You can do this. Come on now. Take some deep breaths.
Good idea. Deep breaths. Deep breaths.
There. Don't you feel better already?
Mai's right. I should calm down and get my focus back and go over everything again. And then, hopefully, I'll be able to find something to prove there was a third person. Let's see. First, why did Gloomsbury attack Ellen?
Because he was tired of taking the blame for the accident?
Something about that line of reasoning just doesn't feel quite right to me.
No? How come?
Well, if it's just a personal vendetta, he had already stabbed Soren. So why then was he so determined to go after Ellen?
You're right. This whole thing feels too premeditated for a crime of passion.
Gloomsbury didn't seem to have any personal grudge against Ellen. Gloomsbury didn't have a personal reason to attack Ellen, then...
You've taken long enough, Mr. Wright. Now it's time for some action. What proof do you have that a third person was involved?
Alright, I'll show you. I'm not completely sure of what I'm doing yet, but it looks like I'm out of time. This piece of evidence proves the involvement of a third person. It has to be the paper, right?
Take that!
I get it now. Now I see why this note bothered me so much when I first saw it. Looks like a note outlining the murder plot.
That note was apparently written by the victim.
But why would he feel the need to write instructions to himself like this? Your Honor, please take a look at this note.
This is the victim's murder plan, right?
It's definitely a murder plan, but what if Mr. Gloomsbury didn't write this note himself?
What? This is how you intend to conjure up your mysterious third person, Mr. Wright? Can you even prove that the note wasn't written by the victim?
I can! Yes, I can. Thanks to Maya, surprisingly.
Very well then. Please present your evidence, Mr. Wright.
This evidence proves the victim didn't write the note. It was the candelabra.
Take that!
This is the weapon Mr. Gloomsbury used to stab Mr. Sprocket.
I was wondering where you'd pull out this time.
Dare I ask what could have possibly been done to... what that could possibly have to do with the note? Mr. Gloomsbury's prints were found on this candelabra, and the prints were from his left hand.
So, that makes the victim left-handed, correct?
Indeed. Exactly, Your Honor. The police looked into it too, and confirmed as much. Now, take a look at the smudged writing in this note. Notice how the smudging only starts from the middle of each preceding line. Had this been written by a lefty, the writing would have been smudged from the far left end. This means that whoever wrote this note was definitely right-handed. In other words, somebody other than the victim wrote this note.
What? But if someone other than Mr. Gloomsbury wrote it, then what does this note mean?
Mr. Gloomsbury followed this note to the letter when he attacked Miss Wyatt. So clearly, this note isn't a murder plan run by Mr. Gloomsbury, but rather, these are instructions to kill Miss Wyatt issued by somebody else.
Objection!
If it wasn't the victim who wrote these so-called instructions, then who wrote it? Most of the people involved are right-handed, you know.
He is correct. The majority of the family and the employees who are on the airship are indeed right-handed. I must say, that is a very rough and slipshod conjecture you've proposed.
I haven't figured out who wrote it just yet.
Leave it to Mr. Edgeworth to go for the jugular.
This culprit who ordered Gloomsbury to attack Ellen. What could their motive have been?
It doesn't seem very likely Ellen did anything to incur anybody's wrath, right?
Right. Not too likely, anyway. In that case, it has to be about Soren.
If somebody were to hold a grudge against Soren, what would it be about?
That accident, I guess. I could understand if Gloomsbury felt resentful about having to take the blame.
But the one who lost the most of that accident was Soren's sister. She lost her life, after all. Soren suffered too, of course. He was crushed by losing somebody so precious to him.
Somebody precious, huh? Soren's sister... Wait, there's one more person! There's someone else who must hold a grudge against Soren.
Did you figure something out?
I think so. I think this somebody else used Gloomsbury to try and get revenge against Soren.
Did you say somebody tried to get revenge against Mr. Sprocket, Mr. Wright?
The person who manipulated and used Mr. Gloomsbury was... It was Selena's fiancé, right? The person who used Mr. Gloomsbury to try and get revenge on Mr. Sprocket, and then finished Mr. Gloomsbury off to silence him, was a man dear to Mr. Sprocket's older sister, Selena Sprocket's fiancé. Not that I'm not positive, but it's certainly possible. This fiancé could have made Gloomsbury attack Ellen to get his revenge on Soren.
What? Her fiancé?
Yep.
Order in the court, order, I say. Yes, it does seem quite believable that Miss Selena Sprocket's fiancé would bear a grudge against Mr. Sprocket for his role in the accident.
Exactly, Your Honor. Maybe her fiancé was trying to murder Miss Wyatt, in order to make Mr. Sprocket experience the same pain he'd felt.
Objection!
Miss Sprocket's fiancé was a surgeon, if memory serves. But the only people who attended the reception were family and staff members.
I don't think so. That may be, but then that just means that Miss Sprocket's fiancé must have been among those who attended.
What? Really?
Of course. Otherwise, how could he have killed Gloomsbury?
Oh, I see what you're doing. This is just another giant bluff, isn't it?
Alright, I'll bite. Who exactly do you claim this fiancé to be? Yes, I would like to know as well.
Are you sure you're gonna be okay, Nick?
Maybe. When it comes to suspicious people, there's only one person on my list. I need to find something that connects him to Selena. This will help us identify Miss Sprocket's fiancé. Finally, it's time to finally get to the end of this. This photo is gonna help us. Please take a look at this photo, Your Honor.
Photo.
Notice Miss Sprocket's pocket watch. Haven't we seen it somewhere before?
Yes, now that you mention it, I do feel as if I've seen it somewhere before.
I believe we've all seen it. Right here in this very courtroom.
Impossible!
That's right. The pocket watch in this photo... It's the same pocket watch Mr. Nickety has on him right now.
What?
This is clear proof of a strong connection between Pierce Nickety and Selena Sprocket.
No! Well, Mr. Nickety, is this true?
Mr. Nickety, you were once engaged to Selena Sprocket. That pocket watch, you keep it as a memento of her, don't you? No use hiding it. Pierce, Mr. Nickety, you plan to rob Mr. Sprocket of his loved one.
Make him feel the same pain as you, isn't that right? And Mr. Sprocket managed to fight back, and knocked Mr. Gloomsbury unconscious. You thought Mr. Gloomsbury was dead and hid his body in the lantern. Then you noticed Mr. Gloomsbury regain consciousness. And so you finished him off to prevent your plan from being exposed. This is the defense's take on what really happened in this murder case. Mr. Wright, does this mean you wish to officially accuse this witness of the murder of Dumas Gloomsbury? Does the defense accuse Mr. Nicky of the murder? Let's dance, Pierce. The defense indicts Pierce Nickety on the charge of murdering Dumas Gloomsbury. Oh my! Mr. Nickety, would you care to respond? Man, this lawyer just yaps on and on and on. As you guessed, this watch is a memento of Selena. It stopped working at the time of the accident, though. And you really are. Yes, I was Selena's fiancé. And not just her fiancé, but the surgeon beside her deathbed. As I thought.
Objection!
Mr. Nickety, why didn't you tell me any of this before? Shut it, you useless prosecutor. I thought you could be of use, but apparently this case was too much for you. What did you say? If your office hadn't stuck its nose all up in this, I could have swept it under the rug. Not only did you interfere with the case, but you even let me fall under suspicion. That's because you kept trying to cover things up on the sly. Covering things up wasn't your only involvement. The only person who had a motive to use the victim to try and kill Miss Wyatt was you. Whoa! The mech? Uh-oh. Here we go. Yep, here we are. The surgeon. Malignant tumors. There are malignant tumors in this courtroom. Lesions oozing with false charges. What? Where'd you... The tumors are one idiotic lawyer and one useless prosecutor. Wow, you work best. After the truth is revealed, I'll have you both, the both of you, incised from the legal world. No, you won't. I'm too powerful for that. I'd like to see you try. With the power of the Sprocket family, it'd be a cinch. It has an eye. What? We'll now begin the operation.
What in the world happened to Mr. Nickety?
Looks like he's finally showing his true colors.
Nick, look what he did to that shoulder mech.
Yeah, it's more like a shoulder battalion now.
Quit your yapping before I suture your chatty lips shut.
It's like he's a completely different person.
Sure looks like it, huh? Can't let our guards down now. Mr. Nickety, it's finally time for you to testify.
The truth.
It seems we're entering the final act at last. Witness, your testimony, please. Witness testimony. Let's do it. Right to remain silent.
You bastard! What? Speak! Say something! What? Damn it! What do you mean?
Mr. Nickety, why didn't you say anything? What's that? What?
Just take a picture of me!
Or something. Huh?
My hair!
You want me to voluntarily testify, hoping I will make a slip of the tongue.
My hair appears in an X-ray? What do you mean?
Not a very impressive plan. Or brain, I might add.
Oh, that was uncalled for. Leave my brain out of this.
If you want to know something, you ask the information. I will answer, but I have no intention of making any voluntary statements of my own.
Ugh. What's he trying to do, Nick?
He's using the silent treatment as a strategy to avoid getting tripped up. Clever guy. No more lies, Mr. Nickety. You will tell us nothing but the truth from now on. Edgeworth, it's your turn. What do you think you're doing?
Cravat! No!
Why does my cravat appear in there? It's not part of my body. I know I always wear it, but come on. No one asked you to speak. Just keep quiet over there and play with your frills. How dare you? You take back that insult against my frills. Well, this is a rather unconventional situation, but please proceed, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. So I'm gonna have to make him say something. Great. This one's gonna be a pain. I need him to say something. The right to remain silent. I think this might be the final cross-examination. This is definitely the most interesting, yeah, this is the final cross-examination. This is definitely the most interesting scenario this series has ever put out. The right to remain silent being used in court. Alright. Well, only thing to do is press forward. If he won't speak voluntarily, then I guess I'll have to ask him something. What question should I ask? I doubt that we're gonna get anything of use if we just ask him things regarding, like, reasons or grudges. I think the real way we're gonna get him is if we get him to slip up. So let's ask him actions of the day. On the day of the incident, you were constantly surrounded by your subordinates. Is that right? Absolutely. I was in someone's line of sight at all times. After all, I was busy taking care of every detail of the event. Mr. Edgeworth, I believe your investigation backs up my claim. I got statements that said groups of his subordinates worked with him in rotation, so he was always with someone. As the prosecutor just said, I couldn't even get close to the lantern containing Gloomsbury myself. Let alone kill him. Hang on a second. Give me a second. I have to do something real quick. Alright. Apologies, I had to put my keys outside for family to use because they need my car. And I'm not planning on going anywhere. Let alone kill him. Pearson have a chance to get close to the victim alone, huh? Mr. Wright, would you like that statement added to the witness testimony? For now, sure. Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to have that statement added to his testimony. Very well. I was always in the company of others. Oh, wait. Wait. Could it be... I think I get it. Wait. I think I get it. I think I know exactly when you killed him. Objection! It was here! You're not getting away that easy. Mr. Nickety testified that he was always with someone at the time of the incident, and never had a moment alone to commit the crime. Yes, and the police investigation backs that statement up, doesn't it? But there was an opportunity, in fact. One and only one. A moment when Mr. Nickety could have killed Mr. Gloomsbury without anyone noticing. What? The one thing that made this moment possible is shown here in this photograph. With all those people watching, I couldn't have possibly committed murder. Do not believe him, Your Honor. This lawyer is a malignant tumor. He wants to infect this judicial body with virulent... Mr. Nickety, I would ask that you keep quiet this time. We need to evaluate the defense's claim, and your yammering only serves to throw suspicion in your way. Mr. Wright, let's see with this one thing you mentioned. But be warned, this had better not be one of your offhanded claims. Who do you think you're talking to, Mr. Edgeworth? Very well, Mr. Wright. Please point out for us the one thing that made the moment of the murder possible. That one moment when it was possible for Mr. Nicky to kill Mr. Gloomsbury. The one thing that made it that single moment possible is this. I think it's talking about the fog, right? Under the cover of the fog, he could have easily done something, right? I don't know where exactly to point, but I'm going to point here.
Take that!
The one thing that made the moment of the murder possible is this thick mood fog that engulfed the entire reception hall is under the cover of this fog. Yep. Yep. And Mr. Nickety murdered the victim. What? Mr. Nickety was standing right next to the lantern that Mr. Gloomsbury was in. This was the only moment the murder could have been committed without being seen.
Objection!
Yes, Edgeworth? I can accept that there was a moment when the witness was obscured by others from others by fog. But that doesn't prove Mr. Nickety killed the victim at that very moment. If you can't prove the crime was committed during the reception, the trial ends here. Ugh. I was so caught up in finding a foothold that I forgot to think that far ahead. Well done, Mr. Edgeworth. It's time to call this trial's time of death. Well, Mr. Wright, can you prove that the murder happened during the reception?
Don't even bother. His blame is dead of a rival. The joint within your grasp, prosecutor.
Quiet, witness. I have no interest in victory. All I care about is the truth. Thanks, Edgy. One that we can only arrive at through further deliberation. Edgeworth.
Enough of this. Your Honor, the trial is over.
I don't think so. No, Mr. Nickety, that is for me to decide. Mr. Wright, can you prove it? Can you prove that the murder was committed during the wedding reception?
Why is there no verdict yet? The lawyers obviously have answered. This prosecutor, the judge, they're all infected. Their millennia stupidity is so advanced, not even the best surgeons could save them. In fact, not even a brain transplant could cure them. This core is infected with idiocy. It's a pandemic.
Objection!
Mr. Nickety, that's enough already.
Finally ready to give up, are you?
No, just the opposite, actually. I'll prove the murder was committed during the reception by you.
Ow!
You'll prove it.
Can you really, Mr. Wright? Yes, I can, Your Honor. To be honest, I don't know exactly how I'll do it just yet. But if I want to get to the truth Edgeworth was talking about, I'll just have to find that way. Very well, Mr. Wright. Let's have your proof.
Enough of this foolishness! He's just bluffing! Stop him from speaking, Your Honor!
I will do nothing of the sort.
You are just a district court judge! The power of the Sprocket family,
Enough of your foolishness, Mr. Nickety. This judicial body will not succumb to the influence of money or power. Now then, let's hear it, Mr. Wright. Let's hear your truth. Think, Phoenix. Remember everything you've learned so far. You can do this. You can find the definitive evidence that will lead us to the truth. Let's do it. Time to think back on everything. Think, Phoenix. How can I prove the murder took place during their wedding reception? If Pierce committed the murder during the reception, then he had to have used... He had to have used the murder weapon, right? Yeah. He used the murder weapon. Yes, the weapon that was used to strike the victim twice. According to the autopsy report, the victim was hit by the same object both times, so without a doubt, Pierce used it to commit the murder. The weapon used to kill Bloomsbury was the Timekeeper. There's gotta be something on the Timekeeper that can prove it, right? Timekeeper. If Pierce struck the victim during that one single moment, then he must have used the Timekeeper. Come to think of it, wasn't it also used for something else during the reception? Yeah! During the reception, the Timekeeper was also used for... It was the first start of love, right? The maid mentioned the Timekeeper had been activated. That's right. The Timekeeper had been activated during the reception. If we activate the Timekeeper again now and find any trace evidence of the murder, that would be conclusive proof that Gloomsbury was killed during the reception. Alright, now it's just a matter of finding it. A special ceremony took place during the reception in question. What kind of special ceremony? It was called the First Startup of Love. Apparently, the couple activated the timekeeper for the first time during it. Does that mean the timekeeper here in evidence isn't activated at the moment? And what would happen if we were to activate it? Why don't we see for ourselves? It would give us a chance to examine it. And while we're at it, we just might find some conclusive evidence. What?
You got activated!
Mr. Nickety, keep quiet or I'll have you thrown out of court. By the way, Mr. Wright, this is supposed to be a time machine, right? We aren't going to travel back into the Stone Age or anything, are we? I don't think we have to worry about that much, Your Honor. I'm still a little nervous, nonetheless. But the truth must be known. Very well, go ahead and start the timekeeper.
Do you know how to, Nick?
I think so. Maybe.
The bride and the groom each has symbol of their love, and when they put them together... Oh, how romantic it was.
You know, there actually is something. Let's see. I think the symbol of the groom's love must be the timekeeper itself. What symbol of the bride's love would fit together with the timekeeper? Oh, I know. That has to be it. Mr. Wright, are you ready to activate the time machine now? Yes, Your Honor. The symbol of the bride's love that's necessary for activating timekeeper is... I would think it was the key, but no. If it's something that Ellen was holding, then it has to be this, right?
Take that!
Miss White's pendant is the symbol of the bride's love that's necessary for activating the timekeeper. What? Then does that mean you can start it up with Miss White's pendant? I believe so, Your Honor. Very well. Please try it now, Mr. Wright. Okay, here I go. But first, I have to figure out where the pendant goes. There's gotta be a place... Ooh? I see something of intrigue. This hole looks like a good spot. I'll try setting the pendant in there. So let's try putting this here. Perfect. It fits. This must be the right spot. Now I just have to find a place to insert the key. Insert the key. Is it also the hole in the middle of the pendant? Could this be it? It is. Open it up. Activate. There it goes. Well, it worked. The timekeeper's been activated. Now all I have to do is find proof that the crime was committed during the reception. I think we got one very obvious piece of proof. Bingo. I think I found it. Conclusive evidence that the murder was committed during the wedding reception. Just as I suspected, there's evidence of the murder inside the timekeeper, Mr. Nickety. The timekeeper was only activated and opened during the wedding reception, right?
No! Stop!
So, that means this is conclusive proof that the crime was committed during the reception. After you killed the victim under the cover of fog, you closed the timekeeper to hide the bloodstain, didn't you? Yep. The activated timekeeper. It's obvious that it was in this state when it was used on the victim.
No! You're wrong! Kill the Gloomsberry! It wasn't me, I tell you!
Objection!
No more running from it. Give it up, Mr. Nickety. How could the defense, who was in the middle of pledging her love, have possibly committed the murder with everyone watching her?
It was the family! Yes, all the family members conspired together to kill him!
Objection!
There's no way you can talk your way out of this, Mr. Nickety. During the reception, during that one dreamlike moment, only one person could have used the timekeeper to beat the victim to death. And that one person was you. Here's Nickety. Oh! No. This isn't over yet. I won't give up.
Oh no! I got the artery! This stupid thing! We need to stop the bleeding now. Give me forceps! Forceps, I said! Hey, where's everyone? Fine. I'll manage this alone. I'll do it all by myself. I can fix anything, repair anything. So you have to get better. You have to live. You must. I would have been able to save her. If only I hadn't listened to her. If only I treated her first. If only that Soren hadn't been there. Ugh. Selena. No.
Yikes. Just trying to fill his heart with some kind of emotion to justify... I don't know, he was just angry enough and wanted to get back at those who he thought stole everything from him.
Witness, are you finally ready to tell us the truth?
It's just as the lawyer deduced. So it was all a revenge scheme against Soren Sprocket. Do you have any idea how hard it is to lose someone you love? Right in front of you? Selena's condition was clearly more critical than Soren's. But in spite of that, she said, "Please help Soren." Miss Sprocket's last words. So that's what she really meant by those words. I was able to grant her wish, but at the price of her life. So you got a job with Sprocket Aviation and waited for your chance to get revenge. You got close to Mr. Gloomsbury and hatched this plot. Is that right? Gloomsbury already bore a grudge against Soren. So when I tempted him with an even better position, he immediately took the bait.
He was your accomplice, someone who shared the same goal as you. Why was it necessary for you to kill him?
Yeah. I didn't expect Soren to strike Gloomsbury out on the Visa deck. And I certainly never imagined he'd make his way there alongside the outside wall. Soren's love is the real deal, after all. Yeah. It's all because Soren really, truly did love Ellen that Nikki was able to get caught in the end, really. My plan had been compromised, so for the time being, I hid his body in the lantern. And tried to think of my next move. And then Mr. Gloomsbury came to during the second wedding reception. As soon as I saw Gloomsbury, I instantly hit him upon an idea. To pin the blame of Gloomsbury's murder on Ellen.
You tried to break up the couple by making the bride out to be a murderer. How despicable.
Soren was getting the company and a wedding. Both things that were supposed to be Selena's. He took every happiness from her. Who's the despicable one here?
Do you think what you did would make her happy?
I know it wouldn't! But I couldn't just stand by watching Soren enjoy his happiness. I was going to have Soren taste the same pain I had, and then take over Sprocket Aviation. I would take back from him all the happiness that was rightfully Selena's. Time stopped for me that day I lost her. Just like this pocket watch of hers.
Huh? Oh! Paris.
Miss Wyatt.
I believe Selena would have said, "Leave this ill will behind. Your time is yours to live."
It's too late for me. Time will never advance for me ever again.
Huh?
What? It can't be. It's moving again. I see now, Selena. What I did was wrong.
Well, I see no further need to continue this trial. Bailiff, please take Mr. Nickety away.
Pierce Nickety, another inconsolable time traveler who lived in time that stood still. Well, it's finally over.
Now then, I must render my verdict regarding the defense.
What? How did you get here? Your Honor, before you give your ruling, would you please allow me a moment? Very well. Oh?
Ellen, there's something I need to say to you. Yes, Soren? I've put you through something truly horrible. This whole thing happens all because of me. I would understand if you wanted to call off our marriage.
What? Oh dear. Oh god.
Of course not. I never once thought of that. If you stay with me, you'll only face even more trying times in the future. What do you mean? The truth of this incident, and the car accident before it. I'm going to tell the public everything. I expect the company's reputation will suffer, and I'll take a lot of criticism. But I feel I can only really start over once I get everything out in the open. Soren. After all that's happened, I might not have the right to ask you this, but... Well, how should I say this? Maybe I'll just... Huh? Huh? Soren. A life with me probably won't be very easy, but... Aw. Will you marry me? Aw. Yes, of course. Aw. Your Honor, thank you for this time. Please, continue with your ruling.
Very well. But first, I have one question. Do the two of you pledge your eternal love for each other to the goddess of justice, Themis?
I do, Your Honor. I do.
Does the prosecution or the defense have any objections? Well done, Your Honor. No objections here.
The defense has no objections either, Your Honor.
This court finds the defendant Ellen Wright. Ah, that's not right. This court finds the defendant Ellen Sprocket not guilty.
A happy ending! Yippee! Yippee!
Well, I lost again. I can never win against Wright, it seems. This court is adjourned. Oh well. I can win against everyone except Wright, it seems.
September 23rd, 11:36 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 3. Ellen, Soren, congratulations.
Mr. Wright, I can't thank you enough. If you hadn't exposed the truth, Soren and I wouldn't... You wouldn't...
Now you can finally start your new life together, right? Oh, here we go.
Yeah. Mr. Wright, we'll be holding our real wedding ceremony in the near future. Would you do us the honor of coming to it? I want you to witness our fresh start.
Of course! I wouldn't miss it for the world. And Ellen, this time it'll finally be happily ever after, right?
Oh, yes.
The two of you have persevered and overcome the struggle together. Now, no matter what obstacles come your way, I'm sure you'll be able to handle them together. And there's another thing I'm sure of, too. This person will always be watching over the two of you. I think I know who it's asking about. I'm sure your sister's looking over you, buddy.
Take that!
Selena. Yes, I think you're right. And we promise to live life to the fullest. For Selena's sake, too. Right, Soren?
That's right. Well, we better be on our way.
Yes, my love.
Aww. Wow, the old threshold carry, huh? Hey, show off.
We'll be seeing you. Goodbye for now.
I'll be looking forward to that wedding.
Hold on tight, Ellen. You better believe I will. I'm never letting you go.
We take flight! Well, there they go. Did they break the courthouse ceiling?
Oh, is it Athena?
You're not thinking of going to that wedding by yourself, are you, boss? Hey, I'm here and I'm alive. You're taking us too, right? Oh boy, I bet there's gonna be all kinds of fancy food there.
Athena? When did you get here?
Just now. I would have been here to cheer you guys on earlier, but Drusy never gave me a chance to slip away.
You're going to be in even bigger trouble with her later. Speaking of the wedding, maybe I should ask them to invite Edgeworth.
Mr. Edgeworth? Really? He thought Ellen was guilty all the way to the end.
That may be true, but...
Don't even bother. His flame is dead on arrival. Victory is within your grasp, prosecutor.
Quiet, witness. I have no interest in victory. All I care about is the truth. One that we can only arrive at through further deliberation. Yeah, if he hadn't stood up for us when he did, the trial would have probably ended there.
You mean Mr. Edgeworth gave us that chance?
Maybe. Though knowing him, I doubt he'd ever tell, even if I asked.
Well, if that's how you feel about it, Nick, then why not try to get him invited? Hey, Maya, have you ever tried to catch the bouquet? What? No. I never have either. Flying over a bouquet that's been tossed by the bride. How about fierce competition? I'm totally stoked. I'm not sure it's really supposed to be all that competitive. I'm a pretty good jumper, so I think I've got a chance.
She's definitely missing the point of the whole thing. And Larry, how did you manage to stay so quiet for so long?
Because I'm crying. Shut up! I shouldn't have let you fall in love with every happiness what a real man does.
I'm pretty sure that relationship was over before it even began, Larry.
Darn it all! If only I was 10 years younger, things would have been differently. Hands of time, why don't you turn back for me?
Oh, Larry. Oh, hello. September 30th, 9:20 a.m. Sprocket Park, mooring dock. Today's Ellen and Soren's third wedding ceremony and reception. Damn! I heard that the bride and groom insisted on being in the Flying Chapel again. In the end, they were nice enough to invite me and Maya, and Athena kind of invited herself. They also invited Edgeworth, Emma, and even Larry. Surprisingly. They say third time's a charm, right? I really do hope it's happily ever after this time for them. Still, I got the feeling it's going to be one rowdy party.
Ready when you are.
Oh god, no.
Okay.
Don't kill each other for this.
Here we go.
Don't kill each other.
Huh?
If I play that... wait, who caught it? Oh god!
Oh, hey! Look who's next!
Oh god, it's Larry!
Huh?
Uh-oh. Larry, look at the... Oh no. Larry, you're about to die. See you, Larry.
Get back! Haven't you ever heard of ladies?
Bye, Larry.
I'm truly blessed to have you.
Aw.
What a happy ending. And that is the final case. That is every single case available within and the Ace Apollo trilogy. Now, there is technically something that I know of existing, but I'm surprisingly unable to find in here. I might just be blind, I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm pretty sure that for, I'm pretty sure I can remember that for Spirit of Justice, there were two, like, joke cases that were in the original versions. But for the life of me, I can't seem to find them existing here. You know what? I'll take a quick look at something. I'm going to look up and see. Apollo, Justice, History Trilogy, I see. So there were originally two in blah blah blah, if I can speak correctly. In frickin'
Spirit of Justice, there were two like pre-order bonus cases, which weren't really cases per se, but they were more so just joke cases, mainly just to give you a laugh. But they don't actually exist in the Apollo Justice trilogy for some reason. I looked it up and it seems like they don't exist. So unfortunately I can't do those. But in terms of everything else here in this game, that's pretty much everything. I guess the only other thing I could look at is there is like the games do have costumes, so Phoenix has the tiger, which is great. School Days for Apollo, Très Bien for Athena. Do the other games have different outfits? I know that this game has outfits. Nostalgic sweater, nice. Old school suit, that's kind of cool. It's funny how the only difference is it's clothes and there's a gold chain on this one. Style and street clothes, neat. And theme is academy uniform. I could have sworn, for some reason, my memory thought that Rafa also had a costume, but I guess I was wrong. I thought Rafa also had a costume for some reason, but guess I'm wrong. But yeah, that is genuinely everything from the Apollo Justice Ace Attorney trilogy. We have finally completed all 3 games here. Now, what's next for streaming? So, there's gonna be, I think there's 1 or 2 games that I want to try and play. I've never played either of these series, which is Danganronpa or the Miles Edgeworth games. I'm going to try and figure out the Miles Edgeworth ones, I think. Now, the thing about the Miles Edgeworth ones is they're a pain to find a way of getting. I'm sure I can find some workarounds, but the biggest problem is the second game. I think it's called Prosecutor's Path, like Miles Edgeworth Investigations Prosecutor's Path or whatever. And that game never actually released in America. It was only ever released in Japan. That being said, though, there is a fan translation, which I could probably try and get my hands on, which could fix that issue. That being said, I also first have to figure out how to stream the game, period. So, once I figure that out, well, I'll hopefully try and do that. And if I can't figure that out, then I might consider doing Danganronpa, because that's also a series that I've been considering playing. I mean, I played through whatchamacallit, Raincode, and that game was fun, and I'm pretty sure the guys that made that one are the guys that made the Danganronpa, so be cool to play through that. So yeah, probably going to try and play through those games next, but as for when, you're going to need to give me some time. I'm still dealing with college stuff, and I'm getting near the end of college, and while I have summer classes, I will only have like 1 summer class at first, so I'll have a much easier time recording at least, so at least for the first half of summer, because then in the second half I have 2, so point being, give me a little bit longer for things to truly start calming down, because once I get the end of this semester done, then I should be able to reliably start recording and junk again. Another thing to consider, though, is I'm starting to get worried about my PC. I thought it made sounds again this morning. It hasn't made any sounds since, so maybe it was just a fluke, but last time my computer made sounds, I had to go through a whole process of trying to fix it. If that happens, then of course, there may be like a month or 2 break from streaming if it breaks, but hopefully that doesn't happen. But anyways, I've loved this entire trilogy package. All 3 games were amazing in my eyes. So we're gonna go ahead and end it here then. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you all later. Peace.